You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a homespun, artisanal show where we're not playing a tabletop game. We're going to talk about a video game.
What?
I know, 2 to 3 old guys, Tyler and Dave and Ian Silent, play old games.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I enjoy the tabletop, but I also feel like I haven't talked to you guys for a month.
Isn't it
so
weird?
it's
We were
pretty
still
nice.
getting together every week.
I know, and then not talking
And
about
not
anything
talking about
personal
anything.
at all, not shooting any kind of shit. And then it's like, all right, see you next week. And then we show up, and then we play, and it's fun. And they're like, all right, see you next week.
I've been so YouTube deprived. I sat here for the last hour just running my mouth about things that I just had to talk about.
Yeah.
Well,
Getting off
speaking
my
of that,
chest.
Bigfoot
speaking of
pizza.
that, you gave us Christmas gifts, or gave me and Dave Christmas gifts. Dave gave Christmas gifts last time. Of course, I didn't not get you guys anything and then buy something after you bought me something. I wouldn't do that. So, of
wouldn't
course,
do that.
everything's just, delayed. So, Dave, your gift was very delayed. It won't be here until next week, but I got Ian's.
Oh.
And I was going to wait and give them to you at the same time. But after the week you've had, I'm going to go ahead and give you yours.
Okay.
Of course, it's not wrapped since I didn't plan on it.
That's fine.
But here is
It's
here's
wrapped.
what I got
It's-
you.
this is
I put it in a
definitely
bag.
That's wrapped. That's in a
I
plastic.
put it in a
Piggly
bag so
Wiggly
you couldn't
bag.
tell what
It's
it was
fine.
whenever I brought it in
Yeah.
to the room.
I love getting presents like a week after Christmas.
Then I'm your man. So is Chris Vaughn.
If you wanted 2 years after Christmas.
Oh, what do we have? Fuck yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It
It's a
is
Bluray? What is it?
the
Is this Golden
complete
Boy?
It is-
Golden Boy.
I mean, I'm proud that I could tell what it was from the fucking spine.
It is not available on Blu-ray.
I was
looked.
going to tell you guys that I have started this on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is going right up on my shelf. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome. And I'm enjoying. I've only seen like one episode. We'll
I didn't know if it was on
We'll get into
Crunchyroll
it.
or anything yet. So
Let's talk about
It
fuck
is-
it. Let's talk about Golden Boy.
Well, I don't have much I can talk
Oh,
about.
okay.
I've only gotten like one episode in
Okay.
because I'm proud of myself. I've got a lot of fucking shit to talk about entertainment wise because we haven't talked to him like 5 or 6 weeks
yeah.
It's
about
been a minute.
stuff. And you know me, I watch a lot of TV and
I know.
movies.
Like
but
Golden Boy.
I am proud of myself because I finally figured out what I was doing wrong on Crunchyroll.
You were doing
I was
something wrong?
having problems because I would watch through a show, and then you actually, Dave, helped me with this inadvertently.
You're welcome.
I didn't know that there weren't 100 episodes of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I can wear headphones now. We're not doing tabletop.
Right. They count each language. They count as an individual episode,
So what would happen
which is kind of silly.
is that it would be like the first season or the season would be the English dub, which I prefer
Mm-hmm.
the dub, so I can turn my head away and do something like wash a dish or something, or wash
Yep.
my ass or something.
Fuck! It's about time to wash that dish.
I gotta wash this
But
dish.
then watch this ass.
But I can't because they're speaking Japanese and I can't see the subtitles if I wash this
It's
dish.
against the law to wash my ass while someone's speaking Japanese.
It can't happen. And
band name.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that when I would finish the English dub season, the Japanese
Yeah, man. 'cause,
season
yeah,
would kick in.
It's weird, isn't
And that's
it?
where I fucked up on High School Double D. I thought there wasn't
Oh,
an English dub
I see.
of season 4 past a point. But what was happening was it was
was
the
playing season
same
1 of
it
the
was
Japanese
the season
language.
I watched 3 weeks ago, and I was like, wait, this looks familiar. Did they just do this again? No, I was caught up, and I just realized what I had been doing when I was watching. I watched Chainsaw Man. I'm caught up on that.
Good for you. It just ended. I don't know if
No,
did
the
you
season. I saw the season finale of that
I haven't seen the
yesterday.
last episode yet, so
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize these things until I was like, wait a minute, because then season 1, it was Spy Family. I got caught up on Spy Family. But then it rolled into the first episode of season 1 again, and I'm like, no. But this time it was in German, and I was like, I understood some of the words. I'm like, oh, no,
Another
no.
axis of evil?
I finally figured out what
The
I was
Italian.
doing wrong.
It was really weird.
Fuck.
So, dear Crunchyroll, please make it to where I can just say I only want to watch the English dub or subtitled seasons of a show and leave out all the other languages if I want to, because I didn't realize I was caught up on things.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But anyway, I did. I got caught up on Chainsaw Man. I got caught up on Spy Family, which I'm fucking loving.
Spy Family's awesome.
I'm almost caught up on High School Double D now that I've figured out how to fucking watch the show, which I'm really getting into. And I started Golden Boy the other day. Yes. And I also started this one weird little show called Girls Bravo, which is really not good. But
Tell me about it.
There's a
It
lot
sounds
of,
like something about it might be good.
There's some stuff. There's some stuff in it.
Some
You know,
Bravo.
some things that make me say bravo.
All the fixins.
All the fixins.
All the pixelated mosaic
So I
fixins.
started watching it that when I was feeling a little randy.
Yeah.
But yes, I did start Golden Boy, and so far I've seen like episode 1 and part of 2. I'm enjoying it. It's silly.
Are you watching
I love it.
the dubbed version?
No.
Dubbed is the way to watch.
You're not
Golden
watching
Boy.
the subtitle version of Golden Boy, are you? No.
I don't think there was. I didn't.
Really? They don't have it.
I don't think there's a dubbed version.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this
Crunchyroll.
right now.
Tell
There-
me, because
well, there you go.
Yeah, you
There
got it on
you go.
DVD.
this is dubbed.
Dubbed. There are not many anime I will say that about, but Doug Smith, who is the voice of Kintaro, is fucking
nice.
amazing. And dubbed is the version to watch.
Okay, I will. And I just got to once again plug High School Double D because it's silly, sexually perverted. I mean, it's like the kid's whole motivation in this. The protagonist is tits. He like
Literally.
he like
Because it's an anime, so you might be speaking like literally. The protagonist is a pair of tits.
no, his motivation is titties, and he even powers up his like demon armor by touching boobs. But the show is so funny because of the dubbed version is the way to watch that one too, because the dialogue in that show is so ridiculously funny, and some of the like insults they hurl at one another and some of the language they use is hilarious. So again, not a great show, but actually it's really growing on me because I think they're finally here in this current season, which is season 4, finding their feet, finding their voice, and it's getting more heavily into these battles that they do between the different demon and devil factions, and the angels are involved and the Greek gods are involved, and you know, all these things, and it's pretty neat. It's just interspersed with some really silly shit, but it's also sexy shit. You know what I mean? So I still have to give High School Double D a high recommend.
You talking about the dub and it being funny in its own right. Have you guys heard of an anime called Ghost Stories?
I have not.
It's kind of an old anime. I haven't watched it. I've just seen clips and stuff. I need to at some point go through and watch all of it. But like, it's one of those cases where it was an anime that was released and then it was purchased and then it was dubbed over in English, and the English dub is like purposely not correct and offensive. It's like it's kind of as if like someone saw South Park and they were like, "Fuck, man, let's just buy an anime and then dub it over like it's like a South Park episode or something."
This might be similar then to High School Double D in that regard.
And I've only seen videos on it. I don't know the full story. I'm sure some of our listeners do, but don't tell me. I'll figure it out.
I was gonna try to figure out whether or not if Golden Boy is if there's a dubbed version of Golden Boy.
It's a shame if it's not like
Crunchyroll.
widely available.
Oh, okay. Is it? Okay, there is one.
Okay, good.
I misread that. It's a dub. I was thinking for some reason I read that as season 2. Because I take it there's just only one
There's
season
just
of
one.
Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there aren't many
Well, then I'll
episodes.
pick
There's
it.
like 6
Then I'll pick it
episodes.
up at the dub. I'll start at the dub. I'll just start over because I'm not far enough in
Definitely
to
start over.
Yeah.
not have to worry.
I've
about
watched
it.
the sub. It's fine, but the dub is way better.
Okay. Yeah. See, once again, confusion from Crunchyroll. Fix your shit. Give me choices so I know how to narrow my field of vision down a little bit.
They're also pretty bad. Crunchyroll is also pretty bad about like if I watch something on the app versus if I watch it on, say, like my Google TV. It doesn't like sync up a lot of times,
Oh,
and
that's
it's like,
garbage.
fuck, what episode
Now you
was it?
gotta
And I gotta
find
scroll
it,
through it.
yeah.
Yeah. Or if it like starts to play for like just a little bit on my phone it'll be like, you watched that episode, and then it'll start the next. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, that would drive me insane.
Well, there's no dub Naruto on Crunchyroll because I wanted to watch it with Kenna. Then luckily I found out it was on Hulu. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Kenna and I
it
were
was on
watching
Hulu.
dub Naruto on Hulu.
That's weird.
She was very confused about Kakashi using 1,000 Years of Death on Naruto in the first episode. Like, did he put his fingers in his butt? Yeah, it's apparently like a Japanese school thing.
Kacho. Yeah, we all went through that when we saw Naruto. I feel like it's like,
Why are all those
did
things
his
in the-
teacher just
Put it and throw him?
just finger butt in his brain?
Yeah. Okay.
And then why are all those ladies in the bath and they're trying to sneak into the bath? Okay, let's talk about bathhouses and my boy. Okay, one of those magazines. There's the the first few episodes of Naruto. All right, maybe there's a lot of questions. It'll change up pretty quickly.
So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go down my list now of things I have watched, which is by no means a comprehensive one since last we spoke. We good with this?
Yeah, I'm great with it. I should have taken notes because it was one of those where I was thinking about that too, and then it was like, well, I'll
Yeah,
remember.
it'll
I'm
come-
sure I'll remember.
It'll come out. Yeah.
I don't remember.
After we've finished recording.
Oh well.
Watched a movie called Arctic, starring Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
You may
okay.
know him from Hannibal, this
Yeah.
TV series Hannibal.
I don't know. him
Casino
there, but
Royale.
yeah.
He was a bad boy in Casino Royale. It's like Castaway, only it takes place in the Arctic.
Okay.
A man lives alone in the Arctic after his survey plane crashes.
With a volleyball.
No volleyball, unfortunately.
It's a canteen. in
But
the
he is
Arctic.
being bothered frequently by a polar bear.
Oh,
And you know what they say?
like a friendly polar bear,
You know what they say?
Got a can of Coke.
right?
He does. He's sipping, going, You know what they say
about polar bears?
if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down.
Lay down, sure.
And if it's white,
You're
kiss
fucked.
your ass goodnight. You're done.
Yeah, polar bears are
do
nasty.
not fuck around.
Yeah.
And they are not to be trifled with.
Well, they're all cold. You know?
Yeah, they got to eat.
Yeah.
They're very hungry all the time.
You think they'd be like less upset because they get like pretty easy meals with those seals, right?
Right?
Like, I don't know if you've seen a seal, but like those are just like
They're just meat with legs.
I don't.
mean,
that's why they exist.
Yeah, exactly. They're food for the polar bears. But this bear wants some man meat and not in the fun way.
I don't know which way I'd prefer, honestly.
Really good movie, though. Highly
Okay.
recommend. This goes back on the theme from time ago when I was telling you that Tanya and I were watching movies about
Polar bear
people
movies?
freezing to death.
Oh, right.
Freezing cold
I do remember that.
situations. Of course, I mentioned Chainsaw Man, Spy Family. I love Spy Family.
Spy Family's awesome. I think I'm not 100% positive, but I think today, and the reason I'm not positive because it was in Japanese, but I think today it was the third season was announced for that. They're
Okay.
going to do a third season.
Good.
And I
They're
think
fucking better.
I think don't quote me on this, but I think a movie was mentioned too. So
I will watch a Spy Family movie.
Yeah. I hope that's
dig
true.
in
I
the
hope this
fucking
isn't
vibe. And
misinformation.
If they cut this off before those two figure out who the other one actually is, or before they figure out the little girls thing, I'm going to be mad.
Man, see, I don't know.
I
because
want them to.
I want them to as well, but then like once they all know, it becomes a completely different show, doesn't it?
Yes, but
and it's fine. It can become a different show, but I just like, I like what it is now. You know what I mean?
I do too, but I also think they're just milking it too much, and they need to progress.
And they have a good
some.
device. They have a good device to keep the show
Yeah.
fresh. That's the device. They all find out. Right?
There were 2 episodes of the show, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but there were 2 episodes of of Spy Family that just made me fucking so happy. I laughed.
Is it sports related?
They were sports related. There was a dodgeball game, which I fucking could. I was standing in the kitchen having my lunch, watching this episode of Spy Family, and I literally just could not stop laughing at this episode because it was so fucking well done. And then there was a tennis tournament.
Yes. And that was 2 episodes long.
It was 2 episodes long, but it was awesome. It was really just, it was so ridiculous, but it was so
over the top.
good.
It's a really funny anime. That and
It
like
is.
what I didn't like about the tennis tournament was like Henry had been seeing a bunch of like ads and stuff with Anya in it from Spy Family.
Okay, yeah.
And so he was
Anya's
like
the little girl in Spy Family.
right, and she's the telepath.
Yeah.
And so Nikki and I were gonna watch Spy Family, so we turned it on, and he was kind of like playing in his room, and he heard it, and he came in, and he's like, "Oh, I want to watch this. This is the one with the little girl, right?"
And this
we're
one's
like,
safe. Kids can watch Spy Family. It's
yeah,
okay.
for the most part.
It's got
I get a little nervous when Yor gets him, like when the brother sister stuff, because it's like, I don't want questions.
No, don't get me started on that. That I could live without.
Yeah, so that is kind of like anytime that is. We're just going to skip ahead.
The woman that, to clarify, Tyler and all of our listeners, the woman that is in the sham marriage with the spy, that's the father in the marriage. She's an assassin, but her brother is obsessed with her. Has been like in a
romantic way.
Really
Sword Art
romantic.
Online has that same thing going on. So I don't get that trope, but
It is.
But
Fortunately,
the thing is,
it's not like a prevailing thing in the it comes up from time to time.
Right.
Thank God, because if I had to deal with that shit,
I could deal with
all
it
the time.
But the problem with it is, it's like other than that, it's totally fine for a kid.
yes,
Yeah, like a kid
true.
Henry's
You're right.
age, because like right now, I don't want to have a conversation with him where it's like, well, yeah, that's her brother, but he wants to put his dick inside of her. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes people are just like that. I guess
One of the
don't do that.
one of the running jokes is that you're the mother in the relationship is a horrible cook. She cannot cook, and you know how it is in these shows. It's like you want to please your husband, you need to learn how to cook. And anyway, she can't cook, but her whole life, the only person
Japan's
that
population is declining because no one's dating. Let's do a thing about women not knowing how to cook and
exactly.
roles.
One of the things about her and her brother is her whole life she has been cooking for her brother, and he's so obsessed with her that even though every time he eats her food it makes him horrifyingly vomit everywhere, he still just says how good it is and continues to shove it down his throat even though it's making him literally vomit because he's so obsessed with her. He doesn't want to tell her that it's not good, and that continued forever. So no one ever gave a criticism about her cooking, and therefore she never thought she had to get better, and now she can't cook.
Henry, don't eat bad food or people will think you want to fuck them. So if it's bad, you have to say it's bad.
Yeah, no, honesty is the best policy. I
It
say.
is, yes.
But like, so he came in he heard the music and he came in and he's like, oh, this is a show with the little girl in it. And we're like, yep. So he's like, cool, I want to watch this. He hadn't watched it before. It's like, okay. So he sits down, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, if the brother comes along, we're stopping, we're going to skip to another episode or something. But it was the tennis episode. And he sat through 10 minutes of it and he was like, is this the show? And I was like, not usually.
This is a kind of a one-off. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a one-off. And then when it ended, I looked at Nikki and I was like,
another
they're doing a
episode.
second one of these. This is like the fucking Andy Kaufman of like anime. What the fuck, man?
I personally loved it. I
Well,
loved
no, it was
that
great.
It was 2 episodes.
It was great.
Is
but
it like
was
starting
weird.
Death Note on the hotel episodes where
No,
Elle and Light are chained together?
I mean,
Like,
they don't-
Is this the cool show everybody talks about?
This one was a one. It was a mission that he and another spy from his faction were in on together. And they had to win a tennis tournament to get a piece of artwork that had a special code in the art that was hidden or whatever.
Da Vinci Code. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But during that episode, you get no context as to the whole rest of the show. There's like very little of the other characters in it.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
just
kind of
funny
It's
tennis.
just funny tennis episodes. So yeah, I got to thank you, Dave, for bringing Spy Family to my attention
Yeah,
because
dude, I'm glad
that
you're
has
watching
been a very pleasant, enjoyable experience for me. I've really gotten
Cool,
into
man.
it. That and Chainsaw Man. I am not going to talk about Chainsaw Man because I'm not going to say anything that might spoil the season finale for you. So we will get to that next week, I think. Tyler, you need to watch Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, no, I want to. Could you imagine starting The Office on Will Ferrell's episodes, and that's your first impression of The
God.
Office?
This is
Yeah.
The Office?
This isn't funny at all. Oh,
God,
there he
those are the
goes.
worst. I like
They
Will
were
Ferrell,
bad.
but man, those episodes
They
were
were
bad.
real bad. I believe we discussed that when
Yeah.
I binged through The Office, and I was like, yeah, I was fine with every bit of it except those.
They were just so happy to have him. Like, yeah, we'll do whatever you want. What do you think's funny? Well, which is sometimes it's good, sometimes it's like okay.
Yeah, Farrell has like one lane, and he never, ever comes out of it, and it's tough sometimes. But next on the list is a movie called Banshees of Inisherin. This one is
Oh, yeah. That's the Irish movie,
an
right?
Irish
yeah.
movie starring
I wanted to see that.
Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, who plays Professor Moody in the Harry Potter movies.
And they're at odds with one another, right?
Well,
Like they go back and forth?
the very first thing that happens, they're actually best friends.
Uh-huh.
They live on a very small island called Inisherin, and they are known around the community. They're best friends. They just constantly are hanging out. They live, half a mile from one another. It's the 1920s. It's the early 1900s is when this takes place during the Irish Civil
They're
War.
best friends, wink.
And they
1920s, wink.
they
They're
are
together all the time, wink.
The roommate, yeah,
well at
like
one-
Patrocles and Achilles. They were good friends.
They were great
They
friends.
were roommates.
At one point, the Brendan Gleeson, his character decides he just isn't talking to Colin Farrell anymore. He's Colin Farrell's character, and he's like, he's avoiding him. He won't answer the door when he comes to the house. He won't talk to him. He avoids him. He won't talk to him at the bar. He goes to the pub that they always go to at 2:00 in the afternoon every day, and he goes to sit down next to his friend, and his friend says, "Sit somewhere else." He's like, "No, my pint is already here." He's like, "Then I'll sit somewhere else." He gets up and goes sits outside, and he finally confronts him, and he says, "What the fuck?" Basically, what are you doing? What's wrong? What have I done?
Thought we were friends, wink.
I thought we were friends. And
Is this about not telling you when?
Is
the other day,
this the bro job? Choo choo.
to be clear, there was none of that implied. He just says,
This is my subtext.
"Yeah, I know." He says, "I've just decided I don't like you anymore, and I don't want to be friends with you. So don't talk to me." And he keeps trying. He keeps trying to fucking talk to him. He's like, "What the fuck? You're my only friend. What the fuck happened?" And dude says, okay. He finally puts an ultimatum out there and says, "Look, his friend he plays the violin. The guy that says don't talk to me. So he plays the violin. It's his passion. He loves to write music and he loves to play the violin, the fiddle." He tells Colin Farrell's character. He says, "Look,
You put this entire thing up your ass, and we'll be friends again."
I thought you said you hadn't seen it."
I've seen the trailer.
Tadpog rules.
He says, He says, "I want you
Is
to
it like Cider House Rules?
He says, "I want you to stay away from me. I don't want you to talk to me ever. But if you do, I'm going to cut off one of my fingers, and I'm going to throw it at your house." It just goes from there. I'm not going to say anything more. Good movie. It's a very, very slow burn.
Based on an anime?
Probably. There's a brother and a sister thing going on. I don't know. Actually, the Colin Farrell's character does live with his sister in their house. So,
there you go.
I mean...
And Tadpog Rules has just a little more anal than Cider House Rules. Otherwise,
Just-
it's very
just a
similar.
little.
Skosh. A skosh
Otherwise,
more
it's a
anal.
shot-for-shot remake.
Dab. Touch more anal.
Scotch.
The good movie, very slow burn, very dialogue heavy. You need to be in the right mood, but it's a good
I wanted to see it.
good solid film.
I'm glad to
I highly
hear it's
recommend
good.
it. Also, my final entry for tonight's episode. Best Christmas movie I've ever seen. We finished our Christmas movie watching season on this. It was a new movie,
Reindeer Games?
Violent Night.
Oh. I've
is-
seen the movie poster for this.
David Harbour.
Of Hellboy fame. The worst Hellboy ever fame.
Let's go Stranger Things fame.
Oh, that's much better. He's much better in Stranger Things.
Yeah. He is.
Russian Captain America fame.
Yeah, right?
Yes, he was in Black Widow as
He's fat.
as a fat Captain America, Captain Russia. What do they call him?
I cannot remember.
Why do I not know?
I don't
this?
know. I haven't seen it. I've just seen
I've
pictures.
seen that movie like 4
He's in the
times.
Thunderbolts, whatever that is. I'm completely unfamiliar with that.
Anyway,
Was the Scarlet, was that a good one? Was
Black
Black Widow? Was that good?
I liked it.
Yeah. I didn't
But I'm
see
easy.
it. I didn't see it because like in the trailer there are like 3 jokes about him being fat. And I was like, if this is a movie about him being fat, I've seen it already.
Well, there is a part where he's on stage and he tries to crowd surf, and the crowd all moves away from him, and he falls on the ground.
Wait, what movie was that?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. No, wait. Oh, it was Ghostbusters, wasn't it?
The female Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, there's another movie here that like I feel like this
A
is
lot
the
of
thing that
movies.
happens.
There are
I'm gonna look it up
400
right now.
movies.
There's a listicle like top 10 movies where body surfing goes wrong. I'm looking it up right now.
Well, anyway, before you get too deep into your body surfing
too late.
search, this movie is one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen because the premise is the movie opens with Santa Claus, a guy in a Santa Claus suit sitting in a bar. It's David Harbour in a Santa Claus suit, with another Santa sitting next to him, getting fucking ripped, just getting drunk as fuck, and talking about how ungrateful kids are these days. Yada yada yada. He
Is it Sling Blade?
He's going off on them. No, so he gets completely wasted and then like leaves. And when he leaves, he goes up to the roof. And the bartender's like, fuck, I think I got this drunk asshole going up to my roof. I'm going to get sued. And he gets in a sleigh and takes off. It's the real Santa, right? That's how they open the movie. So it's like, okay, now we understand that this is Santa who is having, a crisis of conscience about his existence and about how ungrateful children and grown-ups and everybody are and yada, 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 right? He goes to this one house and just decides he sees he's this rich people's house and he sees some brandy on the shelf and he says fuck it, and he pops open the brandy and he's eating his cookies and swigging brandy, and he sits down in a chair and an armed assault team comes into the house to take the rich family hostage and he has to save them. This movie is Die Hard, only instead of John McClane it is Santa Claus, and it is fucking awesome. Me and Gage and Tanya watched this movie together on Christmas night. Like it was, we agreed this was going to be our last Christmas movie of the season. We were all three, and Gage doesn't get super worked up and into. Gage doesn't emote much during movies. Tanya and I do. We're always yelling and screaming and laughing and everything. We were all three just howling at how fucking good this movie was and how funny and well done and well played by every actor in it was excellent. Violent Night, starring David Harbour. Put it on your list. Watch it before it's not time. Well, I don't care. It could be 4th of July and you should watch this movie because it's really fucking good.
I want to watch it with you guys.
We should watch this movie together. I think you would both get a big fucking laugh.
It sounds like it'd be more fun.
Joe Dirt, Violent Night.
Oh, and Food
combo.
Fight.
Let's do
Food
it.
Fight.
Yeah.
And Food Fight. Let's do
And
movie
Gummo.
marathon.
And Gummo. Yeah. Holy crap, man. Wow. You got that one on the fucking back burner, huh? Wow, that was a pull.
That was a long time ago.
Good
We mentioned
Lord,
that.
dude.
That was before Ian came on
And
the
what
show.
is
We
it?
talked about that. Gummo is a fucked up movie we talked about doing for the Patreon
Okay.
a long time ago.
Trying to remember when I was
like
listening.
once. This wasn't like a running thing either.
Oh, yeah,
this is like a Tyler pulling a fucking like gem out of a pile of turds, man.
Like
That's
Chris
good.
Blackman had been like with us when we brought that up.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's how long
maybe.
ago it was.
Yeah.
Because he brought it up.
He brought it up?
Yeah, it was his idea. They're like, oh, we should do that.
Well, we got to bring him back on. I have no idea where he is. So
Probably
no Gummo.
around.
It's all right.
I have a feeling you'll find out. It wouldn't be hard to find him, but you know,
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah. Wait.
I didn't run into.
I was gonna make a joke, and then I was like, nope. I shouldn't make that joke.
I did run into Jorge, who mentioned like, hey, when you guys record, what are you doing? I was like, hey man, you just let me know. So
Is he doing his podcast still?
no,
Oh, okay.
his they had a kid. So
Nice.
his wife was just like, I got to raise his kid and send in a podcast.
Oh, well, that seems unreasonable.
Yeah. I gave bitch.
Damn.
Come on.
Were you like, we have kids, homie? What's up?
Yeah, come on.
And you're like, I got like a bunch of them.
I've had
I do this shit.
I had a grandkid and I'm doing a podcast. Come on.
Yeah. Technically, you have two kids.
I have two kids
Two
and
kids.
one grandkid.
Yeah. He's
Which
fine.
is like 3 kids.
Jorge, it's fine. You're not listening to this, so it doesn't matter, but it's fine.
What have you been up to, Dave?
Christmas stuff, man. Christmas stuff, and then like forgetting things that I wanted to talk about on the show. That's been like the big.
You'll remember them on the way home. Don't worry about it.
It'd be fine, and it's who cares, right? So,
I care, Dave.
you don't.
care.
Don't
I
lie.
care
Don't
about-
fucking lie.
I do.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry. I'm
and you're
sorry.
using the shitty
You're gonna have
voice.
to accept my love
It's obvious
one way or the
to them.
other.
Stop it. Stop
Wow.
it. I hate it when you guys fight.
Wow.
I gotta
have to
code it so
accept
you'll
his
accept
love.
it. You gotta accept it. Michelle said you don't accept love.
Look, man.
That was her criticism.
We don't want this to come up in some kind of like court or something.
You're right. It almost
so
has
maybe
been
you should
part
not
of a
make
court
jokes
deposition.
about you have to accept my love
My emotional love.
because when that's written on a piece of paper,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
doesn't look good.
People love taking stuff about this show completely out of context
Doesn't
to
look
attack.
good.
How many podcasts can say, besides Alex Jones, that can say
Oh boy,
their-
where's this going?
that their podcast was almost used in a court
Almost.
deposition? That's right, folks. You heard it here on TADPOG.
Yeah.
Probably more than we could, like really
Probably.
actually want
Yeah.
to think about.
There's literally
Yeah.
millions
Yeah.
of podcasts.
Yeah.
It probably happens more than I'm giving it credit
Yeah.
for.
The show is officially 10 years old as of today.
Hey.
First episode of TADPOG came out December 28th, the
Holy
day that we're
shit.
recording.
Wow.
Today,
I didn't realize it.
the year of our Lord 2012.
That completely worked out, didn't it?
Yeah,
I think your sister planned it.
she didn't. She wants me to run a D&D game tomorrow. I mean, so yeah, she did plan it. And actually, I say that, but I was like, yo, when's your last day? Let's play. I want to run a fucking game. And they're like, yeah, run a game. And it's like, all right, when are you guys leaving? And they're like, Friday morning. It's like, fuck it, let's do it Thursday. And they're like, yeah. And then the day later, I was like, fuck. I do a thing on Thursday. So
But
yeah,
it's perfect. It's perfect that we did it today.
I know. It worked out, right?
Got that I feel that 10-year
Serendipitous.
energy.
I know. It's in
That
the air.
energy.
I know. And we celebrated with fucking fantastic pot roast and mashed potatoes that
God
you,
damn.
that
Thank
you
you.
prepared.
Thank
It's very good.
I even said, fuck you, Tyler, because it was so delicious.
You did. And you punched him in the mouth.
Right in the fucking pie hole. That's why we were so late getting started, because Tyler was crying from
That's true.
bleeding. I'm sorry. Stop making such delicious food and I won't punch you right in the fucking mouth.
It's the chef's highest compliment to get punched in the face.
You, sir, are a talented chef. Now stand still while I punch you in the mouth.
That's not what they told me at the Olive Garden. They're throwing me out the door. I really liked it. It's great. It's the best Italian ever. Truly.
If they're only going to open their mouths from all the garlic and the salt.
They did make it pretty good last time I was there. That's where anytime we get together as a family, that's where we go. It's where my mom wants to go. Or like this time, like my mom does this thing where she'll like ask the 8-year-old where we should eat.
Oh, Lord.
And it's just like,
Yeah, it's my family.
I'm like, why do you do that? Why do you like consult any grown up?
You'd ask me when I was 8. Why are you asking him now?
It's not about that. It's about like, don't teach him that 8-year-olds get to decide where like literally 6 grown people eat. Because it's like he could have chose anything. It should be like, that's where we're going.
Captain D's.
That spicy fish is pretty good, though.
I got food poisoning from there once. I'll never go back.
Okay.
Me and John both went and had some lunch at Captain D's once, and we were not well for a couple of days after.
I think Henry might have got food poisoning from Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
And if that's not the case, that is definitely where he thinks he got it. So we have not been going to Chick-fil-A anymore.
Noted. I will be avoiding that.
Well, look, I mean, we all ate it. Like Nikki and I ate it. We were fine. But like he got sick and it was like for 24 hours. And it's like, isn't it like typically if you're like having a stomach thing for 24 hours, isn't it like statistically like it's food poisoning more often than not? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I know that like stomach bugs and like stomach flus exist and stuff, but like, I don't know. It was just a little suspicious because it was like, the reason that I think it was that is because it took like forever. Like it was like, it took forever. And then when I was eating mine, I was like, I don't know. It's fine. But it didn't taste like it normally tastes. And I was like, well, just maybe because it took a while or something. And then when he was like, he got real sick and it's like, fuck. And then it was one of those where it's like afterwards, like even that's like, I was like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, how do you feel? He's like, I think it was a Chick-fil-A. And I was like, probably was.
I mean, chicken
like
is
the
not
black fry you ate at just hamburgers.
Yeah, but that only fucked me up for like an hour. He was like, it was bad.
Yeah, chicken will fucking straight kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't any worse than it was.
He was also rolling around on the floor at Kohl's like an hour before that. So I mean, there's that too. So like when I'm asking like, what do you think happened? Of course he's gonna blame the chicken that he had nothing to do with that.
Right.
But like meanwhile when we're in Kohl's, I'm like, get up off the floor. Get up. That
You're going to get the coal hurls. Get up.
Yeah, the floor's dirty, man. Like think about it. Think about everyone's feet
Gross,
walking around. Get off the floor.
Especially in the snow and everything.
Yeah. It's not like he was licking it or anything, but still, it's
I
like
mean,
get
if
off
a
put his-
little bit could have got up in there.
It could have.
He put his hand on it and then put his hand on his mouth or something.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah. So
It's very possible.
there's a
he got-
chance.
He got the coal hurls.
Yeah, it's a chance. So, so yeah, 10 years. I don't know. And then we got. I've been playing some games. I've been playing a game called Crawl, which is really cool. It's like a little indie arcade dealy where it's like, man, this game would be fucking perfect if it had online multiplayer, but of course it doesn't. It has local multiplayer. You can play against like AI, and that's fine. It's still fun, but it gets to a point where it's like, man, I do wish I was playing with like real people. That would be fun. But it's this game where it's like, it's this roguelike where you're there are 4 people. One person controls like the adventurer, and 3 people control the monsters.
What's this game again?
It's called Crawl. And so what happens is if you're one of the monsters that kills the adventurer, you become the adventurer. And then the person who died, now they're controlling a monster. And so it's like, okay, in its own right, that is like, okay, that seems pretty interesting. And it's kind of like this, I mean, it's not like a Zelda aesthetic or anything, but it's a top-down dungeon kind of dealio. That kind of has this like, if I were to like describe the art direction, it'd be kind of sort of like a Sword Brothers kind of deal. And so all of that's like, okay, that's pretty cool on its own. But like what's neat is as you like the adventurer can level up like you would expect an adventurer to level up in a game, a dungeon crawling game, but the monsters also evolve. So it's like the more damage you do as a monster, you can evolve, and then you can kind of choose like the path of how they evolve. It's really neat. It's and as you're like, and I say you're controlling the monsters, but it's like that's only when there's like a summoning circle. So like there are some rooms that have like summoning circles in them, and when you see the summoning circles, if you're not the adventurer, you're controlling ghosts. You're the ghosts of adventurers, and you can sometimes take the form of monsters. So for example, like when there's summoning circles in a room, you as a ghost go to the summoning circle, boom, you're a monster. Now you're attacking the adventurer. If you're not a monster, if you're playing as a ghost, you can like haunt objects in the dungeon. So it's got this like poltergeist kind of stuff going on, where it's like you can like get inside a vase and then like hurl yourself at the adventurer, or you can possess a trap where it's like there's like a fire trap and you can like shoot jets of flame out at the adventurer and stuff. It's really, really, really fucking cool. I think it's a couple years old even. It's not like brand new or anything, but I wish it had online multiplayer.
What is it? What platform?
I am playing it on the Steam Deck, but I think it has a Switch version. I'm not positive. But yeah, I think it's by a developer called, I think it's Powerhoof. That might be wrong, but I don't know if anybody else has this game. Like, then I don't know. I'm like tempted to try to like get it going on Parsec or something, because it would be really fun to play with real people.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun with the bots, but I mean, like, yeah, it'd be more entertaining with like real people.
Cool.
So check that one out if you haven't. It was cheap. And then there's also, I've been playing a game that Rhythm Master Paul Korn told me about, and then I saw on Super Eye Patch Wolf's YouTube channel, called 20 Minutes Till Dawn. And 20 Minutes Till Dawn is like a run-based twin-stick shooter. It's like Vampire Survivors, where you fight like just waves and waves of enemies, and as you kill the enemies, you pick up experience off the ground, essentially in like the form of coins, and you kind of like develop a build as you do it. So it's like a super fast-paced Diablo, or a Diablo 2, where it's just so you build your tree, right? But you're gaining a level like you're gaining like two levels every minute kind of deal. If you're doing good, if you're having a good run. So you create this build, you do your thing, but this is the spin on it is it's definitely more twin stick shooter than Vampire Survivors is. Vampire Survivors is very like, it's passive. You just kind of like, you're not shooting anything. It's like a one stick thing. You're just moving the character around. It's super fun. It sounds boring, but it's fun. You gain levels fast enough. It becomes a game about like your build. It becomes more about how you're going to build this character than it actually does like the combat or anything like that. 20 Minutes Till Dawn like kind of serves both purposes, where it like feels like a twin stick shooter, maybe like Robotron 2084.
Hey.
But also it's leans into that like build mechanic of like Vampire Survivors. It's very cool, very fun.
Awesome.
The last time I streamed, everybody was like, "Hey, Dave streamed."
I did.
Like, what did Dave stream? But you played that fencing game.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I streamed Hellish Court, and I didn't fucking tell anybody about it. I just wanted to play it. I didn't turn a camera on. I was just like, it was like fucking late at night. I was just like, no, okay, bloop, bloop, want to play this. Hellish Court fucking rules. It is cheap. Buy it. It's an early access. It's $15. It's fucking worth it. I know it's early access. It's fucking worth it. It's fun. There's a video on YouTube. I screamed video into the mic. Video on YouTube.
Well, it killed the radio star. You should be upset about it.
Fucking video.
Yeah. So like, there's this video on YouTube. I think IGN had like a say what you will about IGN. I know people hate IGN, but they had like this. Let me get this right. I'm gonna get it wrong. Historical European martial arts guy.
Yep.
Hema, I don't know. He came in to like watch gameplay of the video, and he was like, yeah, this is historically accurate, where it's like a lot of these combats are like both people die. But yeah, it's cool because like there are different characters that you can play as, and each character is from like a different region. Or fight with like a different swords fighting style. So you got like a dude with a saber, and you got like a dude with a scimitar. You've got like there's a fighter with a rapier, and like all these different styles. Right? There's this fucking drunk friar with like a two-handed sword, and it's like it's wild because it's crazy fun. It is like
Better Bushido blade.
It is like the next step for like Bushido.
So
blade.
is this like a VR game, or is it like what's your perspective? Are you first personing it, or is it from side to side fighting like Street Fighter, or
It's 3D, but there is a VR version that I started to try, and then it was like, oh, it's not recognizing my Quest controllers, so I guess it wants me to use a gamepad, and I kind of noped
Right.
out at that point. But no, it's 3D. It's a 3D fighter for the most part. I mean, you're viewing it from the side, but the camera can also
right?
move around. And it's one of those games where it's like, yeah, if you get usually it ends. If someone stabs another one, like it's usually over. But sometimes like you'll cut their leg or something, and it's like they're just like bleeding out and limping on that leg and stuff. So
Flesh wound.
yeah.
Are you playing against real people here, or is it?
I wasn't, and I did it for like, I don't know, like 2 hours just playing against the computer, and it was a blast. It really was. I'm glad you reminded me that this happened. Yeah, it was a blast, man. It was, they have, I guess, online multiplayer capabilities, but I didn't fuck with it. So, but I'd be happy to. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, very cool, very cool. For $15, it was like, yeah, this was a no-brainer. Very cool.
Good deal. Well, do you guys want to roll on to the episode?
You want to do a draft?
Sounds good to me.
Have we talked? I forgot about drafts.
Yeah, man, I was excited for a draft. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm excited for one regardless.
We could do
Zoo animals?
Zoo animals. We could do animals.
You do animals?
Yeah.
All right. Polar bear.
All right, I'm gonna grab my D4.
All right. If it's a 4,
No, not again.
happy anniversary. If it's a 4, it's over.
It's over.
All right, Dave 1, Ian 2, me 3.
Hey, it's a 4.
It is a 1.
All right. Who is 1? You.
You.
Me.
You. So we'll go. I'll be third.
No, you be second. I'll be third.
But that's the long way across the table.
It's clockwise.
It takes such a long way for it to get
It's
over here.
clockwise.
I'm gonna go. My number 1 pick is a goose. Everyone loves a goose.
Goose.
One of my favorite characters from Top Gun.
I will go my favorite animal as a child, the lemur.
Oh, the lemur.
Loved a lemur.
Yeah, lemurs are good. Ring-tailed.
Ring-tailed lemur.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of boring, but my legitimate favorite animal is a dog.
A dog.
I love me some dogs.
Man's best friend, I hear. Mine isn't.
I have 2, and I love them.
Mine literally peed on me yesterday.
But you still love her.
I was mad at her all day.
No, I got mad at my dog the other day and slipped and fell on the ice. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, mine just saw someone outside and was on the back of the couch and got excited and barked. And when every time she barked, a pee came out.
I have a problem with thinking that I can be friendly with any dog, and then I was attacked by one last year or whatever.
Oh yeah,
So it took the dog down the list a little bit for
still
me.
number 1 though.
But now it's back up because we have another dog. We have 2 now, and so
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
yeah, we have Gage's. When Gage came
Oh,
over,
yeah.
his little doggy was coming over to our house every day while we were
Right.
at work, and now she just lives with us. And she's a little mini Doberman pinscher, and she's a sweetie.
A mini.
Her name is Pixel.
Oh,
So
I like that.
Gage asked me if he could name his dog Pixel, after my former cat, who was like 19 or 20 when he died recently. But Little Pixel is my good girl. So, dog, back at the top of the list.
2 dogs. That's brave, man.
They're both little. I mean,
Yeah.
Penny's not little.
Yeah.
But she's
medium.
medium sized, but it's manageable.
That's good.
She's very strong.
Yeah.
But she's chill. She
is chill.
Got a little bit of a beagle in her.
Yeah.
But also a little lab. She's like a Labrador beagle door.
Oh, I like
Yes.
Beagle Door.
I think that's what Tanya calls her, is a beagle door.
That's what I got when they put the sorting hat on me.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. She is very chill.
So that's Hodor
for the most
Snoopy.
part. Yeah.
That worked out. That worked out for Snoopy, right?
Yeah.
Everything worked out for him. Who would Woodstock be in Game of Thrones?
Oh, it's
Littlefinger.
Maisie. No, I think
Oh, Arya.
Arya. I think Woodstock
Yeah.
would be Arya. Woodstock was always cool.
Yeah,
You know, he was like the chill, like behind the scenes one. He was always up to something.
Is Lucy the spider?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No, Lucy's the mountain.
or Pigpen. Pigpen's the mountain.
I don't know why I was also thinking Pigpen was the mountain, but
I guess it's unanimous.
that's weird. But yeah.
Overruled. Anyway, Dave?
Second pick, tiger. I gotta go tiger. Love a tiger. Hobbs is a tiger. Tigers are, perfectly acceptable pets. Everyone,
Oh, yeah.
everyone went crazy with Tiger King.
I mean, yeah, you're
Remember?
right. You're right. 100%.
Number one animal. in
Trendy.
COVID with tiger.
It was.
And I will go with what I think is the most interesting animal for my second pick.
The human being.
The human being, the mantis shrimp.
Oh yeah, with their fucking like pincher snaps, supersonic.
Yeah, that he'd like come out. And the friction is so fast with so much friction that's like for a nanosecond, it's like as hot as the surface of the sun in underwater, and it can puncture glass so you don't see them behind in like aquariums and shit. So their eyes can see tons of colors we can't even comprehend. So yeah, mantis shrimp.
Nice. Sloth.
Sloth.
I like
Sloth's
a
a
sloth.
good one.
Sloth. Henry's got a sloth on his bunk bed or his loft bed. It'd be weird if we had a bunk bed, maybe. This is where our invisible child sleeps. Our visible child sleeps up on this one.
We got some.
It's where the sister he wants to fuck sleeps. She's invisible.
Yeah. We let him watch anime a little too early. You know how it goes.
So now he's in here humping his invisible sister.
We had a bunk beds for a minute with Cohen because we got them for free. Someone had
there
some
you
free
go.
bunk beds, and friend of ours, and we got them. And about a month later, we took the top bunk down and put it away because it was just he was scared to get up there.
Yeah.
And
it
felt like the room was about half its normal size
Sure.
with the bunk beds in there. So.
Yeah, Henry's room's kind of small. So like we've got like under his loft bed, he's got like a
desk
a
and
desk
stuff,
with
yeah.
like the Xbox and
That's
like a
pretty
TV and
I would love to have had that as a kid.
Yeah,
a
same.
little fucking cave.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I'd have been hanging blankets off of it to close it off so nobody could see in, and I'm just going to be in my little world.
humping my invisible
Humping
sister.
my invisible sister while my pet sloth watches on.
That's an important part of it.
Got to have
It's
the
trying to
fucking
reach
sloth.
out and stop you, but it can't get there.
I got to finish before the sloth gets me.
It's a game we play. Mom.
Please don't use that in court, anybody. It's all fucking
It's
jokes.
all
It's
fiction.
all fucking jokes.
Every bit of this is jokes.
Except for the sloth part. He does have a
Except for
sloth.
the sloth and the imaginary sister. What I do in the privacy of
He
my
does-
bedroom
No,
is
no imaginary sister.
not this court's business.
Have you seen Zootopia? Great sloth scene in there.
I haven't seen that.
Where the sloths work at
That's
the
a
DMV.
cartoon.
The
Yeah.
sloth scene.
Oh yeah, no, I have. Yes, I do remember that. That was very good.
It's great.
God, I forgot all about that. I watch a lot of shit.
And I guess going off of Zootopia, I'll go with Fox for number 3.
Let the kitsune guide you.
Love a fox. Foxes are nice. Foxes are cool.
It's a good friend to have in persona.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Your relationship with that.
Absolutely.
For my third, I'm going to go with River and Sky and say a Maine Coon cat.
Maine Coon cat.
Cats. Gosh, I don't know. Let me think on this for a moment. There's just so many to choose from. I do very much enjoy squirrels.
Squirrels.
Squirrel is going to go as my third. And I mean squirrel, Western Kentucky,
Those bastards?
Central United States squirrels.
Okay.
Because they're different all over the world.
They
You know,
are.
they look different
Yeah.
everywhere. I
It's
like
fun
our
hearing
squirrels.
a German person say squirrel.
Our squirrels are kind of
Yeah.
our squirrels are kind of dumb.
They are.
I did find out a fun fact that most of the trees on the planet are a result of squirrels burying their nuts and forgetting where they buried them. And I sit out on my front porch and I'll be smoking a cigarette, having my coffee in the morning, and I will watch just 5 or 6 squirrels in the yards in my yard around me and stuff, just burying nuts all over the place and getting there or digging and squirreling around for stuff. And I think to myself, that's going to be a tree
One day that'll be a tree.
that I will mow down with
Yeah.
my gas-powered lawnmower
Yeah.
before it ever gets the chance
Muttering,
to be a
stupid tree. I mean,
Take that, squirrel. Not only are you
Checkmate.
not only are you not going to eat this nut, no one's going to ever enjoy this tree because I'm killing it. I do like squirrels. They're funny.
they are
You
funny.
can sit and watch them for
They are funny.
hours. Next up,
Dave,
Dave.
your go.
I gotta go dolphin. You listen to Echo the Dolphin, you know I'm going dolphin.
Yep. Fuck for pleasure.
They do.
That dolphin.
The Dolphins, and then that one raped Hank Hill. Remember that? That was funny. We
Yeah.
all laughed at that.
Yeah. He riled it up
I'm
and had to
laughing
rape somebody
now.
else. It was his rape weapon.
It's perfectly a show.
One of the best episodes of The Simpsons was based on a dolphin revolution.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That one's good.
So
Echo the
long.
Dolphin and a video game.
Exactly.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's the memeage has passed, but it's still a fascinating animal. The honey badger.
Oh, I hear he don't give a fuck.
He don't. He do not. The fucks he had, no
Yeah.
fucks.
Well, shit, I should have mentioned what the fox says when I guessed. That's about the same era, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit, I had my next one in my mind and then I forgot it.
We erased it with the power
What have
of
I done?
jokes. I don't know. Was it an insect?
No,
A
it was
bird?
an animal. It wasn't a
Well,
bird.
an insect's an animal.
Is an insect an animal?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can see that. I never really thought of it like that, Dad. What was the fucking one?
But do they have souls?
Probably.
What is a soul?
What are we? What even are we?
What makes us any different than, say, a praying mantis?
Oh, a mini.
We could make philosopher's stones.
That is true. That is true.
That is true. A donkey was my next animal.
Okay. Not a mule.
The littlest one.
The donkey.
Dominic the donkey.
Dominic?
Forget it's a song. I hear on TikTok all the time that hee haw, Dominic the donkey.
What is this a song on? A kids thing?
They say I hear
Is
it
it Taylor
on,
Swift?
It's that one couple who he's Italian and he hates everything. His wife keeps showing him all our bullshit Italian food. And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he says it's there that Dominic the donkey is the Italian Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Okay.
I don't know this at
All right.
It's a Christmas song.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like one.
Hey, jingity jing. It's Dominic the donkey. Jingity jing.
I already know the words.
Christmas donkey.
All right.
Christmas donkey.
The Christmas donkey.
La 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 la.
What are you doing?
All right.
Oh man, that was
Didn't
good.
pay royalties.
Fuck. I should have picked donkey. Hearing that. That's pretty good.
In that movie I was telling you about, the Banshees of Inisherin, there's one of Colin Farrell's. He's got a bunch of animals. One of them is a little mini donkey named Jenny, who is adorable, and I just like them. I think they're cool animals. They're very friendly, and they're not as big as horses.
Yeah, horses are too big.
Horses
They're
are
just
great,
too
but
big.
they're too fucking big.
Just too big.
And they'll, a donkey will hang out with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just hang out. So I've always
Play some Street Fighter.
play some Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Have a little
Pick up your sticks, donkey.
juice box and some Street Fighter, and you got a
Put up your
perfect
fucking
donkey
dukes,
date.
goat.
Ain't kind of fucking dukes, Dave.
I got no fucking dukes.
But a donkey is going to be my fourth pick.
Man, up to me again. This is tough because I can only pick one more animal, and there are a lot of good animals out there. So it's really hard. But I think I'm going to go octopus.
Nice.
Octopus is a fascinating animal.
I like an octopus. I like that video where an octopus is on a boat deck and it like squeezes through like a bolt
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah, they can do
Yeah,
that. It's
that's
crazy.
that's neat. And I like they
They got
change
beaks?
colors. Yeah, they got beaks.
I saw a video earlier today on Reddit of some fishermen trying to pull up their catch, and a giant squid or octopus, or whatever, was like wrapped around the basket.
Surprise, motherfucker!
It wanted that food. It
Yeah.
wanted those fish for itself.
Yeah,
It wasn't letting go either. I
No.
don't think they won that fight.
yeah. Some
This is like a-
say they're still having that fight to
This
this
thing was
very
a
day.
fucking kraken. It was a
Yeah.
huge octopus.
Yeah,
They're fascinating creatures.
yeah. Going octopus.
Okay.
I think I've talked to how much, like, I'm not great at Magic because I'm a defensive player when it comes to video games, competition, chess.
I thought it was your sleight of hand was sloppy.
That too. That too. I'm left-handed. It's just
Your
it's awful.
distraction's great.
but it's not
Best
drop
distraction in the
everything.
game.
So I'm going to go with a very defensively minded animal. I'm going to say the Ankylosaurus.
Oh, wow. Going dinosaur.
I'm going to go dinosaur.
Going dinosaur. Okay.
God, I'm going fucking kittens and doggies and bunnies, and you guys are picking fucking mantis shrimp and the octopi and ankylosauruses.
Hey, look, man. All animals are cool in their own way.
They are. They are. To round out my list, let me think. It is a tough choice. There's
Number 5.
just so many good animals out there.
Great animals.
They're all pretty great in one way or another.
I already picked goose, though, so sorry.
Owls fascinate me.
Owls are great.
Owl's a good animal.
Owls are
Going to
great.
pick- I'm going to pick owl. For
Good
my-
pick.
They're terrifying, owls.
Yeah.
We go out in my backyard, especially at certain times of the year, mostly during like early winter, when there's no leaves on any of the trees and everything. I'll take my doggies out for a walk, and you just hear them. They'll be like, at any point in my neighborhood, there are at least 5 owls watching you. All of them are watching, and then occasionally I'll look up and I'll see a glimpse of one flying from a tree to another tree, but just for a moment, because they're silent and fast.
Phantoms.
They are phantom birds, and they are deadly.
Mm-hmm.
They are so deadly. I remember my ex-wife, Laura, she actually hit one in her car. Like it flown, I guess it was flying down to get some prey or something on the road where she was at, and she just slammed into that fucking thing, and she's a super animal lover. She loves all animals,
Sure, yeah.
and so she managed somehow to get this gigantic owl to a veterinarian. And it was okay.
And it's like Harvey Keitel and the she's like Harvey Keitel. Tim Roth is like bleeding out in the back. You're gonna be okay.
Say the goddamn words.
Say the words. Say it.
Say the goddamn words. You're gonna be okay. That owl could have just murdered her because they're vicious killing machines.
And she hit it.
and she hit it with her car, but she managed to save it. But anyway, those animals, those owls, they're really neat. They're fascinating. So that's my fifth.
Nikki loves owls.
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys got
We have that in
honorable
common.
mentions?
Got some honorable mentions, sure. I got a like a bat.
Yep.
Bats are nice.
I thought about putting a little bat nest out, but we've already got them, so I might still do it just to give them a little place to live. But we used to have mosquitoes pretty bad. Bats are awesome because bats eat mosquitoes
They eat the shit out of them.
and all kinds of bugs.
That's why I have possums on my list for ticks.
Yeah, possum was
Possums love
my
ticks.
honorable mention as well.
Yep.
That was my one honorable mention because, they are not. If you see a possum, leave him alone.
Yep.
He does not have rabies because it is impossible for him to have rabies. Possums are immune to it.
Bats, on the other hand, carry rabies.
Bats do not.
And COVID.
approach a bat. And COVID. But yeah.
And Ozzy's career.
Possums eat something like
true.
how many ticks a year? It's
Like their
in the-
weight, per week or something.
10,000 ticks
yeah.
a year or something.
Pretty gross, but useful.
But
Yep.
they eat them.
Got the taste. So they're just essentially they're eating everyone else's blood via a tick.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But as long as they're not eating it from my hand, they can have as much of it as
Yeah.
they want. Of course, I've probably got Lyme disease from all the ticks. I know, funny.
Well, that explains. I thought you got a bunch of Target logos tattooed on your body.
Yeah,
but
well, no.
Turns out
Only one.
it's just the Lyme
Just
disease.
the one Target logo, but then I got the Lyme
Right.
disease.
Yeah, I love that you go to the doctor like, oh fuck, no, that's my Target
That's
logo.
the Target logo.
This is the bite.
This is the Lyme disease over here, doctor.
Do you really like Target? Not at all.
Nope. Didn't even know about that being a logo for a department store.
I'm a Walmart man myself.
I'm a Kmart guy.
I did
Walmart
like
man through and through.
I did like Kohl's, but then I went and the next
Rolled
day I
around on
was
the
vomiting
floor.
everywhere.
Got the
after I
hurls, the
went.
Kohl's.
It's
The
true.
curdles.
It'll happen.
What else do you have, Dave?
A praying mantis. I know I mentioned it earlier.
Yep.
Like a praying mantis.
Yeah.
And then a banana spider.
Is that the
I don't know
one
anything about
that
a spider.
is that the one that spins the webs that are
I think so. I think those are all,
iridescent?
they might also be called gem spiders.
They're like UV.
Well, I'm talking about the ones. Well, maybe I got the name of the spider wrong. They're pretty big spiders. I mean, they're big spiders, and then they make these like really pretty big webs.
Well, we had
Catch bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to build a big web if you're going to catch those
Bananas are
flying
heavy.
bananas.
Donkey Kong fucking hates them.
That's what he rides whenever that one.
Squitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played those. Squitters. They just had a ROM hack recently. Oops, all Squitters. Where you just play the game as Squitter.
We had a big spider. It was like one of the Charlotte's Web spiders that spins the UV.
Charlotte's Weeb.
The weebs, Charlotte's weeb. It spins the web that's like woven, and it looks like a pattern. And if you shine a black light on it, it like glows.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like really cool. But I also wanted to mention the dragonfly.
Dragonflies
Dragonfly,
rule,
yeah.
man.
Very cool. They love
Also eat mosquitoes.
my vehicle is like the only one in the neighborhood that still has a metal antenna coming up from the front.
And they're all like, I'm gonna fuck
dragonflies,
that.
They land on it. Like at any given point in the summer, you could look out of my truck and there'll probably be a dragonfly on the end of that antenna.
Humping its invisible sister.
Humping, it's invisible while the sloth just looks on and doesn't do fucking
No. I had an armadillo.
Armadillo's nice.
Armadillo.
Very good.
A red panda.
Red panda's
Red
nice
Red
too.
panda.
pandas.
Cute.
I've been seeing all these videos of red pandas and how they like will make themselves try to look intimidating when they're
They
scared.
stand up
They
and raise
stand
their
up and raise their paws and do this, and they're somehow cuter. But it's like their instinct to just do that to make themselves look dangerous to their something that's bothering them.
And my last one was a peregrine falcon.
Ooh, nice.
Like they're just cool.
Yeah, they are cool. We have some out in our neighborhood. Or I should say on that stretch of road from like the interstate to our house.
They keep eating the bats, though.
You know what? Circle of life.
Whatever.
Circle of life.
If they're going to stay out that late, fine.
It's the polar bear seal dynamic. You got fucking falcons and bats, polar bears and seals. It's just
Yeah, seals, man. Fuck. Yeah, seals would be good. I love watching seal videos. Not the musician. He's fine. But, like the animal. I like watching seal videos on YouTube. That gets in my algorithm sometimes. Thanks to Nanners.
compare you to a kiss from a rose on the...
Best e-fucked video of all time.
Yep. I've mentioned Sean Locke before from 8 out of 10 Cats. He had a really good bit where they're, it's because it's a game. They're playing a game show or whatever, and he's asked like, "Do you have any hidden talents, Sean?" And he was like, "Honestly, seal clubbing. I was told I'm the best they've ever seen at seal clubbing. I got 8 at once. Unbelievable. They've never seen anything like it."
It's a lot.
They just line up like the Three Stooges.
I had 4 clubs
One
in each
swing.
hand, just took them all out.
You think nunchucks would come back in style with seal clubbing? Probably, right? Bring them back.
They're back in seal clubbing form.
You're going to hate them even more now, Mom.
I need these nunchucks to club seals. How are we going to eat this winter?
Seals are fucking like...
Not to mention a dugong.
A dugong?
Yeah.
Man, wow.
Yeah.
Pulling out all the crazy animals.
Yeah. Play lots of Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Got a raccoon dog on there?
A Bidoof. yeah, dude.
Raccoons are good. I like raccoons.
Yeah, raccoons are all right. I think they're cute, but I never like to see one around.
No, I mean, that can be a problem.
Yeah, and there was one when I worked at the printer. There was one that was like pretty active during the day in the dumpster.
He
It's
doesn't
like
give a fuck.
it's like that motherfucker has rabies for sure. And it's like I remember driving to work like back from lunch one day. It's fucking like 1:00 and he's just running down the road. It's like, hey, that motherfucker is dangerous. He wasn't foaming at the mouth or anything, but like
Yet. No, he wiped his mouth after he finished raiding the dumpster. It's like,
That's
gosh,
right. But yeah, he's like panting and shit. It's like, man, that's a bad raccoon.
he was hot.
Go ahead and swerve a little bit. Well, you guys will take a break and then hit segment 2.
Yeah.
The Game Dog.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
Williams Arcade Classics.
Something like that, right? It's a hard one. It's Williams Arcade's greatest hits, maybe?
Williams Basic Cash Grab. I think that's what it was called.
It's something like that. Williams Arcade's greatest hits.
Boomer Cash Grab.
I wouldn't call it Boomer Cash Grab.
Gen X Cash Grab.
That's more like it. Thank you.
So, how do you like my swimming?
Rolling. Yeah. What? Limp Bizkit.
I do like that song. And we're back. All right. So, Williams' greatest arcade collection hits.
Williams Arcade's
Got in one.
greatest hits.
All right. So, let's see about some of that box art.
You're playing it. Is this a new bit? Ian plays the game while we record an episode on it. I'm fine. For the record, I'm fine with it.
Oops. I got to figure out.
It's kind of like a live stream, but no one gets to see any gameplay. So what you do is you'll play it. I'll describe what's happening, and Tyler can play the audience.
Okay.
But I don't actually see the screen either, so I just guess. All right, Ian's a spaceship.
Oh, man.
Okay. So the
He can fly.
The Williams Arcade's Greatest Classics features 5 games.
Yeah, which the box art clearly shows
Clearly
on there.
shows little squares featuring the logos of the games with a giant silver Williams Arcade's Greatest Hits, and it's really bad.
And the box, the design is bad, but I will say that the box definitely lets you know what you're buying.
But yeah, no, there's definitely truth in advertising on this box.
Which is not common. So I guess I can give them props for that. But it does say, it literally reads 5 great arcade hits in one package and then shows the logos of each of the 5 games.
We've covered one of them in our Ready Player One series.
Joust.
We talked about Joust.
Yes. Did we do a specific version of Joust or was it just Joust? I can't remember.
I feel like
For whatever
there's
reason.
only been a couple of like offshoots of Joust. I
Yeah.
think there was a Joust 2.
I know. I don't.
Joustier.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah.
And then Joust 3, the Joustiest.
The joustining.
Way better. But yeah, I mean, really kind of an unimaginative box. Really, they're just saying what it is.
That's pretty much.
It
It's
is
a
what
pretty
it is.
generic. I mean, that's a pretty generic box. I do think that there may be. I mean, to me, looking at it, it's like. I think they could have made the games bigger. You know, like to me, like Williams. To me, a podcaster who's 41, Williams means something to me. But like in 1995,
As a podcaster who's 38, it means nothing to me.
well, that's because you're just a young baby boy.
Yeah.
Baby
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Well, these are gay. See, and we'll get into this, but this was actually not a bad one for me because I did play all of these games in the arcade, and so
Girl,
it
same.
took me there. And they're direct ports. I mean, they're look
good ports.
spot on.
They're good
to
ports.
the arcade versions,
Yeah.
which isn't hard to do because those old arcade games weren't terribly, intensive.
They're like 15 years
Graphics.
old by
Yeah.
the time this came out.
So this was easy shit. This was nothing to put on this Super Nintendo. Is it, at the end of the day, are we going to say, is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I guess it really depends on how much you want. But
I wonder what retail was for this when it came out.
It was probably regular retail,
say
right?
it was probably full retail if I had to guess. And they probably justified it by saying, it's $10 a game. That's nothing.
I mean, look. I mean, I think it just depends on what you're into. Like, if you like these arcade games, is it worth the price of a full? Like, in 1995, where you have no other way to play these games, is it worth it? I think it is.
I didn't consider that. That's,
And then
that's
it's
fair.
I mean,
Not
I
big
bought the
emulation.
fucking Final Fantasy Pixel remaster, and it's like, well, I'll buy this again for the fucking 4th time. Sure, I'm smart, And so it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same shit. It just depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, you kind of throw your money at the things you want to throw it at. I buy shit in Overwatch. I buy skins for fucking Overwatch, which is the biggest waste of money I've ever done in my life, but I love it.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's fun. I just stepped in some shit, I guess, when I was
Oh,
taking
boy.
a piss out there. I'm going to scrape it off my boot.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep going. We're rolling.
What experience did you have growing up with
We
these
should
games?
just say nothing.
It
And turn off truncate silence and just
just have live dead air.
anyway, go ahead. What were you going to ask
I
me?
don't know, I think it's a good idea.
Look, if you don't want to talk to me, I get it. That's fine. Just admit it.
No, I love you.
I know. I love you too. Especially now that you've given me this Golden Boy DVD.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. No, really though, you were going to say something.
What experience did you have? Because the only one of these I played was Joust, and I played that for the show. So growing up, I didn't play any of these.
I've mentioned before.
And there's only 3 years difference between me and Dave, and he
Right.
played these games.
Well, these were. I mean, it just really depends. I think on your exposure to the arcades and the rare grocery store that would have a decent selection of video games sitting out in the hallway or whatever, And I had
Yeah.
all that. And I mentioned on the show before that I used to go to the malls around the area with my dad every week.
Oh, yeah, 'cause he had jewelry to
he
go,
had jewelry
yeah.
stores to go manage and check on and do his thing. So he would take me to the mall in Carbondale or Cape Girardeau or the one here in Paducah.
Okay.
And every single one of them had a fully stocked arcade. And He'd give me a bunch of money and say, go keep yourself, because back then it didn't matter. I was 8 years old, and he'd say, go run around in the fucking mall by yourself for 8 hours. I don't care.
Yeah.
Here's some money. Get out of my hair. I got a job to do, right? And that's the way Gen X was.
It's still not a bad way to be.
It's not if just things have changed. So anyway, though, those experiences were what got my exposure to these games. These specific games, I played these regularly in the arcade. If the pinball machines were taken up, I was always playing Defender or Joust or Robotron 2040. I loved those games, and
'Cause I played Galaga.
yeah, Galaga, Space
and I
Invaders.
played Space Invaders. That's it from that era.
My very first, this is an interesting little tidbit about me. My very, very, very first exposure to any video game of any kind was Space Invaders, because it was like the first video game that ever came out. But they had a coin-op Space Invaders at the Salvation Army store that was up the road from my house when I lived in Madisonville.
Yeah.
And we would all save our quarters and get our shit together and go. I have some alcohol. Want that?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Like rubbing alcohol, not like bourbon for your hands.
Oh, nah, bummer.
If you'd have said it was bourbon, I'd have done it. No, but we would go up there every Saturday and take turns playing Space Invaders, and that's where that was my first exposure to video games. And so arcade cabinets and spinning quarters and doing that experience was my thing all through the 80s and for most of the 80s, and that was it until I got a Nintendo, which wasn't until, the year it came out or whatever, I got one. But that was my only way to play video games that was easily accessible and didn't cost, $1,700 to buy a computer or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had like a Commodore 64, but it didn't. The games I had for it were more. My dad was you should use this for learning.
You did. I mean, it put you on a path.
I learned how to type like the fucking wind on that thing. And believe me, if you can type fast on a Commodore 64, you can type. But
Mavis Beacon is
Mavis Beacon was my typing teacher. And but yeah, so this kind of thing, I would have probably bought it when I was a kid, and I'm jumping ahead, I know, a little bit, but I'm just saying this would have scratched an itch, and I would have had this game and been like, sweet, and probably played it for a day and then never picked it up again, or only picked it up occasionally, but having that available would have been nice.
I think it makes a lot of sense in 1995.
It does.
I don't think it makes as much sense now, which is why I think you see a lot of these games are cheap now. Like Hamster does the arcade archives, and like those are questionably expensive. I mean, a lot of those are like $8 a pop. So most of them are really good ports of and they do obscure games too. So it's tough. I think I know we're all jumping ahead on this, but on this one, I really do think it's one of those where it's like, it's not going to be for everybody.
No, take it or leave it. Honestly, if you are about those old arcade games, this is a great thing to have.
These are good versions, at least.
And Williams' games are great. I mean, love their pinball. I love a lot of their video games.
This is where they transition. Defender was like the one. It was like their first, I believe. I think it was their first video game when they started to transition from pinball to video games. And Defender being like Defender's one of those games. I'd love to rank these personally. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a fun thing to do, is to rank which ones you like the most to least. Defender is like a really cool game because it's like, some people credit it as being like the first side-scrolling shooter.
I believe that.
Because up until that point, their whole thing with Defender was like, we want to make Space Invaders, but we want to turn it on its side. Instead of it being top down, we want the camera angle to be on viewing it from the side. And I think it was 1981. I'm not positive.
It's very possible.
But I think it was 1981, really early. And it was one of those things where it's like, they just had so much stuff. There was just so much stuff in it. And I feel like a lot of Williams games had that. And almost to a fault. Because like I feel like Williams arcade games were way more complex than like Namco, where it's like Galaga, where Galaga's pretty
shoot
simple.
Shit.
It's like an advanced Space Invaders. You just shoot shit, and they've got that mechanic where in Galaga where one of the alien ships will capture your ship, and then you can get the double fire. That's as advanced as it gets.
Right.
Which is fine. I like that.
Right, exactly.
Not a complaint. Then you got like Pac-Man, which is very straightforward and simple. Pac-Man, I feel like Pac-Man is like one of those games you can sit down in front of and just be like, oh, okay, I got it.
It's like Tetris.
Yeah.
It's that level of simplicity where you don't have to know a whole bunch, but you're not wrong.
Defender ain't that.
Defender ain't that.
Is
you
not
gotta know kind of what the fuck you're doing.
Defender 2, I immediately did not care for.
Yeah, Defender.
The other games are different, but Defender 2, I did not care for.
They're complex. For like Defender 2 is like, man, like if you don't know, like if you didn't have a good time with Defender, you're definitely not gonna have a good time with Defender 2, because Defender 2 is like, straight up
a portal in here now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, there's
and
multiple
Yes.
levels, and
Defender 2, like playing Defender 2, like I don't know, it's like it's Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario Brothers 3, where it's like, oh, okay, well you played Super Mario Brothers 1. Well, we're just going to take that and just add stuff on top of that, and that's what Defender 2 is. They just add stuff onto Defender. And if Defender was already complex, it's like Defender 2 is like, holy crap, man, you're throwing all kinds of wormholes on me, and a cloaking device, which I guess is neat. But it also feels like it's just a bunch of stuff.
See, I think I've always thought of Williams video games, their arcade games, as video games developed with a pinball mindset.
I think that's fair, man.
You know, because things are constantly moving, and
there's a lot of parts.
Got to be on a lot of moving parts. You got to be on your toes. You got to know what to do to get the points. You know, like in pinball, you know, you hit that ramp, and then you like that thing, and then you do the thing. You know,
just
it's
complexity.
Video games with pinball mentality, and that's
totally
I think why they appeal to me, because I'm a huge pinball fan.
Sure.
So, you know, that's what you get when you have people who are experts at doing one thing that branch off into something else. And yeah, sure, it's not necessarily for everybody, but it is unique in its own way. It even sounds and feels like pinball. You know, those sounds from the game. And I'll play some of the. I want to play some of the game sounds today on the show, just to hear it, because that's one of the things to me that really sends me to a happy place. When I hear the sounds from any of these 5 games, I'm immediately sort of transported back to the arcade. You know. And it's really neat how that just sort of embedded itself into my mind.
I'm the same way, although I didn't play a lot of these. 2 of these games I played when I was a child, and then the others I didn't. They weren't my first time playing them for the show, but I had played them later in life. And so I can kind of relate to that. But I think that a lot of these were more fun to play on the Super Nintendo in this collection, because like, the Super Nintendo has like a D-pad and then the 4 face buttons and an L and R shoulder button. Like the control scheme for Defender, I remember the first time playing Defender in the arcade, and it was like, okay, so all I do with the joystick is move up and down, and then I press a button to thrust, and then I press another button to turn the ship around, and then I press another button to fire my laser, and then I press a different button to fire my bomb, and it's like, you could have put like two more of these things on the joystick. You know what I mean? It's like,
and it was early development.
They're figuring it out. Absolutely.
And it's like someone said, "Yo, it's way too many fucking buttons.
Sure.
Nobody's gonna know which ones to push."
Yeah.
The thrust being a button drives me crazy. It always has, because you just thrust right into something every time.
Yeah, and it's
that was a quarter-eaten motherfucking game.
And it's got like the momentum to it too. Like the ship in Defender is straight up like low acceleration, high top speed.
Yes.
Like once it gets going,
it's geared low.
It's fucking
You're absolutely
It's
right.
geared low. Yeah.
Yeah, because you straight get fucking gone.
And it's fun to turn it around.
It is
because it's
fun.
you slide like you keep your momentum as you're turning. It's like you're drifting almost.
It is. It does feel very like a race car, but it's very spaceshipy.
Sure.
It just has that very unique feeling of being in a ship.
And then you're rescuing the astronauts that are on the planet's surface, which is interesting.
Because you'll see an occasional enemy getting ready to pick up and fly away with one of the astronauts. You got to shoot it, and then he falls back to the ground, and then you got to get him.
You got to catch him
You gotta
before
catch
he
him
hits the
before he
ground,
hits the
right? Or
ground.
splats.
Or he's
Yes.
dead.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do.
Do you know why they added the astronauts? They weren't in the game at first.
I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep for this.
They added the astronauts because I didn't either.
I mean,
it's fine.
Wait. I had shitloads of time to prep for this.
And then chose not
And then
to. Same.
Today, yesterday, I realized that we were recording this episode today.
Yeah.
So I was like, I played Defender. I played all these games in the arcade. I'll be fine.
It'll be fine, and it will be.
I never understood the rules, but I understand. I'm fine.
It'll totally be fine. Nobody comes to this fucking show for what I'm about to say. I'm only saying this for my own benefit. So it's fine.
Yeah.
They added, I just think it's interesting. They added they added the astronauts because they felt like they could justify the violence in the game because you're defending the astronauts. The whole reason the game is called Defender is to justify the violence that you're committing, which is very quaint because like playing the game is like, this is not, I mean, sure, you're blowing up a bunch of ships, but I mean, it's like, this ain't Mortal Kombat,
Yeah, right.
It's pretty,
There's a lot to be left to the imagination
Yes.
here when you think of it in terms of violence. You really have to work to see violence in this, but that's 1981 for you.
Yeah.
It was a
you're not
whole
eating,
new world.
not eating ghosts.
Nope.
You're blowing up aliens.
There's guns. There's lasers. Dave.
Those lasers. Those lasers look
Was
good.
there a seizure warning on the box for this? Because there should have been.
I don't know that they were doing them then. I think isn't like that Pokemon episode the thing
Porygon
that
episode.
like triggered all of that, and
Yeah.
that was like what I don't know. Was that when did that happen? Because this was
That was
'95.
in the 90s. Let's see.
There wasn't one when I turned the game on. I can tell you that much. And that's usually when I see it
No,
now.
that's not. They didn't really care. They didn't think about it. It was like in the 90s before they realized, hey,
97.
97.
all these bright flashing lights, maybe they're causing people with epilepsy to have seizures.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who had to wear fucking sunglasses in the car that like wrapped around the sides of his eyes to keep the sunlight when it would come through the trees while he was driving was enough flashing to cause him to have a seizure.
Wow.
And so shit like this was why they made like him. People like him are why they did shit like this. Because that would suck. Hey, I'm playing.
Right. Oh, and now I'm dying.
And
Fuck.
now I fell over and hit my head on the sink and I'm dying.
So, yeah, Dino Senshi Porygon, the 38th episode of Pokemon in 1997, where Ash has to go inside a Pokeball, and Pikachu uses a Thunderbolt that makes the screen flash red and blue very rapidly, and apparently caused a whole bunch of kids to have seizures.
Damn.
And it has since been banned.
Yikes.
But
And Nintendo shares dropped by 3.2%.
damn, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That would have been a good time to buy Nintendo, I guess.
I would have. Great time.
Yeah, man. I think like the laser that you shoot in Defender is awesome. It's like this
Satisfying.
fucking prismatic ray.
Yeah.
It like changes color as it comes out. They really. I mean, you're right, Tyler, with the seizure stuff because like they really play. They really play.
Especially
on-
Robotron.
Robotron is probably yeah.
Robotron will straight fuck you
Dude,
up.
Robotron 2084 looks like an AI made it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Because it is like, and I love it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I love it.
I
but,
did like that one.
But it looks like, I mean, it just looks like garbage. It does. Like, it just looks like fucking like soup. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's just like, what are all these shapes?
A kid drew a bunch of robots. Well, they think robots, and put them in a room, and they're all attacking you all at once.
Yeah, and they also drew people that kind of look like the robots too. And it's just
but don't shoot them.
Right. Also, there are flashing shapes on the ground that don't resemble anything, but don't touch them.
And then Space Invaders come in, and they shoot stuff at you.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, but I like it a lot. I like Robotron.
Me too. Joust is probably the one I played the most.
Joust is the classic.
It's a great game. I
Joust
played
is
it.
my favorite.
I
Followed
had
by Robotron.
I had an Atari 5200, and one of the games I had was Joust, and I played that game like I owned it, which I did.
Charles Barkley showed up in Joust.
Yeah. Space Joust. We had I had that, and I played it a lot, but it looked a little bit wonky because it was the Atari 5200.
That port was,
it wasn't great.
It was what it was.
But it was what it was, and the mechanics were still there. It was just the graphics.
Sure.
So playing this one was nice because it looks just like the arcade. And again, all those sounds, and then the eggs bouncing around like
physics
pinballs.
feels
It's
just right.
Very fluid, very, you've got that moment in Joust where you're flapping because you're still falling.
Gotta get above.
You gotta pull up. And it just feels. You get that feeling of real gravity, of really like you're fighting gravity to try and either not land in the lava or land on top of one of the other guys to get him to die and get his egg. I mean, it's a great concept for a game,
and it
really stands the test of time.
That's another one. It kind of like Defender style, where it's like your ostrich has a real low. It's always in first gear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's when like an egg drops, it's like I got to get there before it hatches,
right?
But it takes your ostrich like a while to wind up,
which I feel like would actually be the case in a.
Not like the Donkey Kong ostrich. At all.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying to include as many Donkey Kong animals as I can.
Necky was the buzzard. Fuck. Who was the ostrich? Espresso.
Yeah.
You
said dolphin earlier. There was a dolphin in Donkey Kong.
Swordfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swordfish was
on guard.
On guard.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where it just felt like. Those physics are just one of a kind in those games. All those games just have some neat little feature that feels fluid and feels real and feels like you can really kind of get into it more because you're fighting against things that are actually a factor, that are actually there. That's gravity. Like when you actually banged head on into one of the other opponents in Joust and it makes that ping, that noise. It's just It's like you're both made out of rubber and you just bounce off of one another. It's just really neat the way they managed to pull that off.
It's like you're both circumcised and you can't dock, so you just bounce off the other one.
And it pings. Happens to me all the time. Yeah.
Tell me about it. I know. Tell me. I was there.
Thank God for Sean Miller.
Yeah.
That just makes it more of a
The fifth game we talked about, we've already talked about Defender 2.
Sinistar.
The last one, Sinistar, which I really like.
Coward.
I live.
I didn't get that one as much. That one didn't make as much sense to me.
Sinistar's weird, and that's one of the things that I like about it.
I can say I honestly
creepy.
Did not play that one in the arcade.
So Sinistar is like, imagine asteroids, but when you blow up the asteroids, they drop, we'll say, yellow dots.
Okay.
We'll say yellow dots. You pick up a yellow dot, it gives you a Cinabomb, which is a bomb that you can launch whenever you want, and it'll blow stuff up. But you want to, meanwhile, as you're mining resources, the enemies are constructing a Death Star, a sentient Death Star with a giant face on it. And when they're done constructing it,
Proto-Andros.
it comes, totally, Proto-Andros. It comes to life and chases you, and says creepy shit like "Run, coward," and "I live." And then that's where you're supposed to use the Cinnabons because it's the only thing that can destroy Sinistar. I love this game because it's a race. The beginning of the game is you want to try to get as many Cinnabombs as you possibly can before it wakes up. You're prepping. And so as you're mining, as you're shooting the asteroids, blowing it up, trying to get the resources, there are these little red ships.
GM, you're fucking mining to fucking stand a chance.
It's true. Just don't do it unattended or you'll wake up in jail.
Sinistar eats you.
There are these little red ships that try to take the yellow dots. And if they take it, you can't convert it into a bomb. You can blow them up as they're running away with it and take it back from them. That whole concept I think is really cool. And I like that a lot. And then you can stumble upon Sinistar being constructed. You don't have to wait for him to be built. Like you can run across, there's a mini map. There's a mini map in Defender too.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Weird mini map, but
Potentially the first. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's because it's super old. Yeah, and it's like you can play. I played Defender for a good chunk just looking at the mini map because
it shows you where everything is,
and you can line up your shots and everything on the mini map. It's wild. But there's a mini map in Sinistar too, and you can kind of figure out where he's being built. If you have Cinnabombs, you can just lob it at the construction, and his pieces will go away. Very neat game. Not a crowd pleaser, but
still a cool concept.
Cool concept.
Well, if you were to compare your experience with these games to a movie, what movie do you think you'd compare them to?
I picked Stranger Things.
Okay.
That makes
and
sense.
that's just
Time
because
period?
of the time period, and there's a whole scene but they're in the arcade, and all these games are in there somewhere. You know, I mean, it was again my childhood. This was the way it was, and so I just kind of, if I was thinking about a movie that kind of really grabs that feeling of what it was like to go in the arcade and hang out and drop quarters in the machines and all the noise and bleeping and flashing and whatnot, it would be that Stranger Things. It was season 2 specifically.
Dave?
I chose Creep Show. I chose Creep Show because it came out around the same time these games came out, and it's also 5 stories in one movie that aren't really connected. They have some connective tissue
between, with the comic books. Yeah.
So I went that route.
I chose a very similar movie for the same reason, Love Actually.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, all the storylines there.
George A. Romero's Love Actually.
of the dead. Dead, actually.
What would you compare a Nick Cage movie?
I didn't get this one. I forgot to do my Nick Cage pick this week, so I have to bow out. I could probably just pick something and
it would work.
Probably make it work.
That's kind of the beauty, I feel like, of the Nick Cage thing. They all kind of work.
All right, tell you what, you give me a Nick Cage movie, and I will tell you that you didn't pick, and I will try to make it associate it with this game in some way.
The Wicker Man.
There are bee-like enemies in Defender.
There's enemies that need to be defeated.
It's like your ship's made of wicker in Defender.
The only way to beat Sinistar is to wear a basket over your head.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I chose a movie I haven't seen, but would like to, now that I know it exists, even though the Rotten Tomatoes score on it pretty low, but hey, I think that might be kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
A movie called Willy's Wonderland.
Great.
Yeah, the trailer looked awesome.
He doesn't speak a word
really
in that whole movie. Not one word is uttered by that man in that movie.
I chose it.
It's great
because of the name.
You should watch it.
Willy's and Williams.
It's right. Okay. It's obviously like a Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's what it looked like to me.
But
because he's a janitor in like a I don't know if it's abandoned, but
he takes on a job. We need you to clean this place up, and he takes the job.
All right.
It's
Willy's Wonderland.
Five Nights at
Joe
Freddy's
Dirt,
where you can fight
food
back.
fight.
It's good. It's a good movie. I highly recommend.
All right, I'm gonna watch it.
I picked The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Nice.
Since he has another personality and has to play multiple different roles in that game, in that movie, like this game has different games. I think we kind of covered the good things, the bad things. Is there any
Yeah.
additional
I want to
info?
touch on.
There were some.
I mentioned earlier that one of the things I really loved about these games is the sound.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to play some sound from all of the featured
I do, but
games.
you're going to do it anyway.
Yes,
so
you're right. All right, I'm going to pick first. See if you can guess.
what game it's from? That's loud, man. That's awesome.
Defender?
Defender. You got it. Let's go to the next one.
Defender 2, aka Stargate.
Yeah, we'll give you that one. We'll give you that one easy. I'll just play some Defender 2 sounds. Not at all different.
Exactly the same. That's bright too, man. When that flashed,
Yeah.
like your whole face.
Do you have a
literally
seizure
lit
warning
up.
on that game on your system?
I love that sound when you blow up. Oh,
It's a good sound.
that's a good sound. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the next one. This one is going to be easy.
Pac-Man. Joust.
Joust.
Those good ostrich sounds.
Yeah, it sounds
Nature's machine gun.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let me go back.
You say it's easy, but I feel like if I heard that out of context, there's no chance in hell I'd be able to tell you what game that was.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
I would, but then again, huge Joust guy. All right, here we go.
Just like you're hitting your finger on a table.
Any guesses?
I mean, this was the one I played the longest. I mean,
gotta be Robotron.
I don't hear Sinistar saying anything.
Right.
So it was
It has to be
Robotron.
Robotron.
It's Robotron. You got it. The sound of you dying in Robotron is very quite similar to the sound of you dying in Defender.
Yes.
At least when you die, you have the option to go back and choose a different game.
And
You're
finally,
not stuck into it till you have to reset it or do like some sort of soft reset.
finally, last but not least, Sinistar. See, I always wondered until you explained it to me. I didn't know why I wasn't dying when I hit things.
Yeah, man. Like
It's all rubber.
you bounce off of stuff, and really nothing can kill you until
Until
the
Sinistar
ships with
shows
bullets
up.
show up. They'll mess with you a little bit.
All right. Well, there's not a whole lot of sound on this one, but you get the theme there. Williams had a sound palette, if you will, and but I love them. I love those sounds.
Yeah.
and they translate really well on the SNES version. They're all very sound and video accurate, and those were the two top things I had for my good things. And then I also thought it was just neat. It's a good thing to me that there's 5 games on one cartridge. That provides to me a high level of replay value.
Yeah, I mean they easily could have gone the route where it's like, oh, Miss Pac-Man's popular. Miss enjoy your Miss Pac-Man or Frogger. Enjoy your Frogger. Actual
right.
releases where it's like this is a better value than that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
One of my good things, only other thing that we haven't talked about yet is I think it's awesome that they give you options for every game. You can go in and set the dip switches. You give yourself as many lives. You have live options. You can set the difficulty. They easily could have just been lazy and been
Right.
like, this is the game. But you can go in and you can set, I want it to be this, I want it to be this difficult. I want to have this many lives. And depending on the game, you can set other options as
And,
well. I
and
think it's
honestly, why the fuck not?
Sure.
Right? It's your game. You bought it. Let them have it. That's great. Tyler?
I mean, because it did have plenty of variety. I thought it looked good. It felt sharp. It didn't feel slow or sluggish. So I could appreciate that. It was a good experience for me to try these games. Ultimately, I mean, it's not my thing.
But they're not gonna be for
arcade style
everybody.
things.
Yeah.
Never really been for me. But they made a really good point that back then there's no. I mean, short of having like an Atari when they released an Atari, like there's not a whole lot of way for you to play these. So
Right.
that's a good point. But yeah, ultimately, my bad is just that this kind of thing isn't my bag.
Not your genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And I mean, I do think I didn't have a whole lot of bad. I mean, I felt like I had to dig a little to find the bad because
Yeah, I have
it's sort of
some.
an is what it is sort of deal. But I do think that over time, unless you're just an immense fan of these specific games, you can find yourself becoming bored with them easily. And then, I don't think honestly that another bad thing I had was I don't know that these games, this specific type of game, I don't think it was so much about doing well as it was playing it in the arcade. And I don't know that they necessarily hold up as well in a home environment as they do with the lights, sounds, and chaos of the arcade around you. In a way, you're almost, when I was in the arcade and playing Defender, and the guy that runs the arcade always has the sound turned up on every game, so you can hear it. But you can also hear all the games around you, and you're contributing to this noise, that sort of this white noise of an arcade that to me was always like, I could listen to that in a sound machine and go to sleep to it.
I wonder if there's a YouTube channel
that would be really cool.
Has 3 hours of arcade sound.
Just
Probably.
arcade, like busy, and I mean the people, the games, just the general noise of an arcade was always a wonderful thing for me. When you're sitting at home playing Defender and it's just pew 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 pew,
sure.
it's just it doesn't have that same. In a way, it evokes certain feelings.
10 hours in an arcade.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna get that later. Sleep to it.
Sleep,
tonight.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not
trying
gonna
to pick
sleep.
out the
I'm gonna start picking out the
games.
sounds.
Right,
I
yeah.
just heard Pac-Man, and then
Dominic the donkey? He's back, everybody.
Dominic.
It's Dominic the donkey.
And then I just put in as a bad thing because I didn't take the time. It's not that it's bad. It's just I didn't really get Sinistar. I could
It's
play
complicated.
Joust and Defender and stuff and get it, and Robotron and get it, but
Sinistar's
Sinistar
weird.
got me. I need to do some, I needed to read about that one first, but otherwise, no, I liked it. I liked this cartridge fine. It was good.
My only bad thing is that it was also released on the PlayStation, and it had one extra game on it.
Oh, really? What was the other game on the PlayStation?
Everyone's favorite, Bubbles.
Oh, okay. Don't know Bubbles. Maybe I do, and I just don't remember the
Bath
name.
Time Babes from Super Nintendo.
Presumably. So yeah, it came out on like current of the time gen systems. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, I mean, it's not really a detriment to what came out on the Super Nintendo. It's just, I don't know, like if I had at the time I had a PlayStation and a Super Nintendo, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buy it on a PlayStation if it's the same price, get the extra game.
It's a buy, rent, or birthday.
For me, this would have been a buy. It would still be a buy. I would like to have these games just to bring up, and I do. But in this case, I would like to have it in my collection to bring these games up and play them whenever I feel like it. And I feel like a little Defender. I may only play for 10 minutes, but I've got it, and I can play it whenever I fucking want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it. I like it as a buy. I think even if it's at full price, you're getting 5 games that you can play anytime without paying a quarter every time you want to pay. Yeah, so
That's a buy for me. But I've also bought a bunch of like Namco collections and stuff. So like I'm used to buying stuff like this. So I buy it for sure.
what about you, Tyler?
It would have been a rent, so I could have played it and understood a little bit, but I wouldn't have kept going. Like our score chaser games have just never been. I'm such a story driven guy.
Sure.
That stuff like arcade stuff has never really been for me.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
about the score in the arcade.
Yeah.
Because you can't exactly spend an hour and a half.
Yeah, there's not like Final Fantasy VI in the arcade where you're
Kid, we're closing. No, you don't understand.
let me save.
I have to save.
It's always been about the time for me. Like, I know the score is like a big deal, and like, I think like I was reading like Defender was huge in the Twin Galaxies community. Like when it came out, like that was like a big high score chase. But for me, like in the arcades, it was always like, how long can I make this quarter last?
That's what I always used to do too. I was never about score, and then Tempest came along, and
That became
I
about
was
score.
I was about getting the high score on Tempest.
Yeah.
Then I saw Night of the Comet for the first time, and the girl that's the hero of that movie is also obsessed with getting the high score in Tempest. I was like, hey, I have something in common with that young lady.
That's the final barrier in Ready Player One.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great game. Anyway.
How much would you pay for it, Ian, since you want it so bad?
Why don't you fucking marry it? You love it so much.
If you were to buy this game used, how much do you think you might pay for it?
Well, first of all, I would put this square in the middle of my top or bottom 100.
Okay.
If we were going to bring
Had
that
a nice segue. Just gonna run a T-bone through that. It's fine. It's good.
up.
Cool. Right in the middle.
How
right in the
does
middle.
it fucking feel?
Right in the middle.
Yeah,
Right in the middle.
I know. Anyway, if I was to buy it right now, like today,
Today,
how much would I pay for loose? Right,
loose.
Good Lucy.
the time of this recording, I would give this. I would expect to pay
Yeah, this isn't like a judgment thing.
$13.
$13.
$13.
All right, Tyler. What do you think the going
I
rate
was
is?
going to say $12.
$12. All right, two answers very close. The actual price of scroll up to get name of game correct. Williams Arcade's greatest hits
The old over under by Tyler and Ian.
for the Super Nintendo, loose on average, according to PriceCharting.com, at the time of this recording is $9.97.
Tyler wins. That's I think that's
I buy it. I'm going to buy it when we're done
$10.
recording.
It's
so
$10.
It's $10. However,
Oh.
in 2014, how much do you think the average price of this game was?
$3.
$2.
41 cents.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah.
Could
That
have
right
bought
there-
1,000 of these and had a huge.
I know, right?
That right there is the epitome of what happened to the video game buying
Yeah, the
retro
collection
market.
scene.
the
Yeah.
retro market. That is a perfect example of how 41 cents
41 cents
to
at its
$9 is a huge jump.
In 8 years.
In
Well,
8
nine pretty much now.
That's
but
huge.
I know.
Nothing goes up by that much. Gold didn't go up by that much of a percentage when it was at its peak. So, wow.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. But still $10.
Put a Biden sticker on that. I did that.
I'm gonna write price charting. Dear price charting, if you would, please.
Although my problem with stuff on the list, I don't think compilations from other systems should be on a ranking list. It's not these games, that system's games. So like
That's a fair
I would
statement.
pull
It is
Mario All Stars from IGN's top 100. But it's a best of Nintendo shouldn't be a best of Super Nintendo. Not applicable.
Okay.
That's a good point.
I actually subscribe to that.
So
I
I don't think that therefore it should default to the bottom because they're not bad games. I would just
it doesn't
have
qualify.
put a sub list, not applicable.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
But I also think that if these were really bad ports, I think all of us would be like bottom of the list.
Yeah.
And like Super Mario All Stars is one of those where it's like, those are. I remember when we recorded Mario All Stars originally, and I believe that I also had this stance where it's like, yeah, it's a collection. I mean, why would, but man, I don't know. Playing Super Mario All-Stars feels so different to me than playing the NES.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I struggle with this where it's like, are these technically bad ports or are they just different? They're still fun to play.
Yeah.
They just don't feel.
Doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe your gray area belongs directly in the middle of the list. You know, maybe
The
that
500 are all the compilation games.
that there's
Well,
a
yeah,
zone.
I mean-
There's an NA zone of it's in this part of it. It's not
Yeah.
bad or good.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have, but it has a place on the list maybe, but not necessarily as a ranked competitor.
That's
so
a
to
good
speak.
point because I mean, like a port can only be as good as the original. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like even if it was the greatest port, it wouldn't elevate it anyway. It wouldn't be like, man, that port was so good.
Well, I mean,
that
these
it's
were
top 10. I know
What's
they
your,
were
what's your favorite PC game? Final Fantasy VII.
right.
Right. I mean, as far as port quality and accuracy,
Yeah.
these were perfect. They were 100% spot on the actual original ROMs that were used in the arcades. So you can't say it was a bad port. Regardless of whether or not you liked it. So I don't know. Maybe there needs to be another list. Is this
Compilations.
compilation quality? But anyway, yeah. I mean, I think both those opinions have merit because it's true. It's not a Super Nintendo game, but it kind of is.
If it were my personal list, this would be in like the top half for me. I mean,
why not? It's a great port, and it gives you. It's like having your own little arcade games.
Yeah.
If that's what you're into.
yeah.
It's all relative, really.
And this wasn't super common either at the time. I
Okay.
mean, because like the Namco collections didn't really start coming out until a little bit later on like PlayStation. This was kind of like when we were originally talking about doing this episode, Tyler mentioned, well, let's knock out all the arcade collections. And it's like, I looked into it and it's like, I can't find any other ones.
Yeah, I did too, and it kind of is another reason why I tend to lean towards having it on the list because it's sort of one of a kind for this system. You don't see a whole lot. I don't know that there are any other arcade compilations. And again, it's kind of Williams getting out there and getting ahead of the game like they did with these games originally. They were the ones putting out these video games and everybody else was a couple of years behind them.
Since I mentioned Final Fantasy VII on PC, I was curious, and now I'll ask the two of you. If you guys were to buy Final Fantasy VII for the PC
Again,
in its
a second
original
time?
in its original trapezoid box that
Yeah.
it came out in
Yeah.
1998,
Yeah.
how much would you pay for it?
I have no point of
According to
reference
eBay.
here.
According to eBay.
I don't know. I have no point of reference, so I'm just going to shoot for the moon. $500.
No idea on how big box stuff is priced, but Final Fantasy VII on the PC, complete.
I wanted to buy it. Yeah, I'm looking at the complete with the original trapezoid box.
$300.
$119.99.
Damn.
Damn.
It's a
There,
steal.
there are two versions. There's the platinum version, and then there's the original trapezoid box.
That's the one that I
wanted
bought.
so fucking bad.
You didn't really. Though. I know that
I
you
heard
did.
afterward it was
Yeah,
awful.
it was real bad.
Yeah.
It was like I bought that before I bought a PlayStation because I played Final Fantasy VII at a friend's house in high school, and I was like, damn, this is some hot shit. I fucking love this. I don't own a PlayStation, and my other friend, Nick, is over at Ben's house all the time, literally sleeping over there. I don't know how Nick's parents or Ben's parents were okay with this, but he was over there every night playing Final Fantasy VII. He would sleep on Ben's couch, wake up, play Final Fantasy VII before getting ready for school, go into school, come home directly to Ben's house, play Final Fantasy VII.
Are we talking about Nick
Saves
W?
us 50
Yes.
bucks.
They
Yeah.
had so many kids, they didn't know he was.
Yeah, I
they didn't know he was gone.
I mean, that's a good point. But I mean, it was wild. So like, my point is, I couldn't really ever get in to
Right.
to play.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, I don't own a PlayStation, and Nick didn't either. That's why he was always at Ben's. So I guess I'll just buy it on PC. And I bought it on PC, and I was like, fuck, I gotta buy a PlayStation. I mean, it was just like, I got to a point where it was like, oh, it's bugged. It's bugged. And it's like, I don't know anything about fucking patch in this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like Square probably, or whoever fucking did it probably didn't either. So I can't remember exactly where it was in the game, but I mean, there was a part where it was so frustrating. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles port style where it's like, I know what I'm supposed to do here. It was somewhere in the canyon. And it was like, I know what I'm supposed to do here because I've seen it done. I saw it done on the PlayStation. There's something wrong. Something is bugged where I just can't go any further.
Sucks.
So yeah, I bought a PlayStation.
Tyler's favorite thing, game-breaking bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that box was rad though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it really was. I remember seeing it in Walmart, be like, oh my god.
Yeah, box was cool.
But then I got a PlayStation with that for Christmas.
Yeah, nice.
And then bought a second PlayStation when that one finally died, so I could keep playing
Damn, it
Final Fantasy
died?
Tactics. Oh yeah, the reader
Oh yeah,
went out, which
Yeah.
was a common problem in the
Yeah.
PS1. I had to turn it upside down.
yeah.
I remember. I didn't even
remember
have a
that. It would take-
PlayStation, and I remember that.
I would start a battle in Final Fantasy Tactics, turn it upside down. By the time I woke up, it would have loaded, and I could do that next battle.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's some dedication.
that is
Yeah.
dedication.
Gotta love Tactics. Loved it.
Yeah,
I think that's what I want to stream next after Paper Mario.
yeah, man. There's
The War of the Lions they did a new like the modding community is really good on that. So I saw where they did a new War of the Lions
Yeah.
like remake or
Yep.
tighten everything
That's
up.
what I was
and
just about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on ROM hacking. Looks
That's
pretty
what
neat.
I want to do. Yep, absolutely. What else we do? About the price, where we put it.
Tyler?
Just beers and glass. Okay.
I guess.
Yes, Dave.
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll probably think of something else. If you were to give this game a beard, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the mustache from Noah of Noah's Arcade
Oh,
in Wayne's World,
yeah.
because I could never get to World 2 on any of these games.
What was the name of the game that he was talking about?
God,
I wish we could pull that. But I can't. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would it be?
I would give it the glasses of the bald Six Flags guy.
Oh, yeah, the dancing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all the music is so like upbeat and poppy, and the sound effects just reminds me of that song that he'd always dance to.
Okay. All right.
Very cool.
Want to see what we're going to do next?
Yeah, but we're doing a little bit. We're going to think a little outside of the box this
We
week,
are.
aren't we?
Thinking outside of the bun.
I'm going to make use of my Retroid Pocket 3 Plus that I recently acquired.
Are we going to do, because we discussed doing it several ways, because your Retroid Pocket will select a random Super Nintendo game for you, right?
Yes, it will.
So do you just want to do that? Or do you want to do, you randomize on the Retroid, I randomize from the Sacred Tablets, and then we pick?
I think
Because you
we
mentioned
should,
I
that.
like that.
I think
and I
we
like
should
that
do
idea
that.
too.
We'll call it dueling randomizers,
Okay.
where you will pick what you would pick like normal. We'll spin, and
Okay.
I will spin
Who is the greater god?
to pick our random from our new demigod,
The Pantheon
Oh, all right.
is
the
expanding.
Retroid.
Who has greater divine rank?
And if we match, we have to do it.
We have to have sex.
We have to
end the show.
Yeah, we have to end the show.
we have to get some raw bacon and dock. And then
Yes.
after that, we have to play this game. Or if I hit one that we've already done,
Did we do the other one?
well,
I don't think that's fair because
or I could spin
usually
again. I
re-roll.
think
Yeah,
I think we both should spin and land on a unique
a new game.
game,
Yeah.
and then the three of us can decide which one to do.
I like
Okay.
that.
Sounds good.
Okay, ready when you are, Tyler.
Get this batter up peripheral. I'm gonna do two of them this time.
Oh,
Set off.
yeah.
The shadow of your glasses on the screen of that Retroid makes you look like you have a perfect unibrow.
Oh, that's real. it darkens the makeup I wear between my eyebrows.
It's like Jacob in high school style unibrow.
What if I do this? Does it move? Does my unibrow move?
It lightens and darkens. So on these dual better up peripherals.
It's like you're going skiing.
Yeah. Say the prayer we all love to say.
You go first.
The whammies, the whammies, the whammies. Stop.
I imagined no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
500.
I don't have numbers. I don't have numbers, so I'm just gonna have to say whatever I landed on.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
We'll guess the number. How about that?
4, 5, 6.
500 is SimCity 2000.
Have we done that one?
No, we did SimCity a long time ago. And had we been thinking ahead, might have done SimCity 2000 at the same time.
'Cause that was IGN's
However,
top 100.
that was a very long time ago.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
SimCity was low, I think. So, I mean, it probably was damn near 10 years ago.
On the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus Demigod, I spun Vortex.
I don't think we've done Vortex. I don't even know what it is.
I don't either.
I like that we don't know what it is. It makes me want
uses it uses it says on the box that it uses the Super FX chip, I guess. So I bet there's a lot of
That's wild. There's another super effect. I didn't know about this game.
Now I don't know
Ernest style when I hear Super FX chip.
I don't know if my library contains non-US releases. I don't know how to identify.
I know how to find out. Also,
There we go.
forgot about a segment.
Hey,
That's what we were forgetting about.
What do you think Flopsy gave Williams Arcade's greatest hits? After we do that, I'll look up Vortex.
sure.
I knew it was like, we do something else on this show.
I know, same. Poor Flopsy over here.
We have got to stop
Flopsy, yeah.
having such long periods of time where we don't do this show the normal way because you've 10 years, man.
To be fair, so many stuff has been added on that it's
So much.
I know.
What do you think Flopsy had to say about Williams Arcade's greatest hits?
Must split the difference. 2.5 stars.
2.5 stars?
3 stars uncommon.
3 stars uncommon? What are the rarity you think?
2.5 stars uncommon.
I haven't looked. I saw the star ranking, so I can't guess that. But I'll also guess uncommon. That just makes sense, right? According to the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a shadowy benefactor, they gave Williams Arcade's greatest hits 4 stars.
Wow.
And this is a common game.
Man.
I mean, that would explain the low price point.
I mean, Irem Skin
Relatively.
Games was very uncommon and still like
Still
$20. Yeah.
I think that was a very niche appeal, though. That's
I think
why
so.
it probably didn't get the more common rarity. But 4 stars is high.
In the comment, it is 4 stars. I mean, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
That doesn't rub me the wrong
I
way.
said it
but-
earlier. It's a perfect port
Yeah.
of 5 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how could it not be high rated?
The common makes me a little upset because I should have guessed it was common. It was 41 cents at one point.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's what I'm
Like, that
saying,
didn't,
like-
that didn't register with me.
Not a lot of
Nope, me
resources
neither.
were needed to put this game on the SNES.
Right,
Yeah.
true.
I did not factor that in. Now, let's look at Vortex.
We're looking up
and
Vortex.
see if it's because if I spin something that's like Japanese only or European only, then I will spin again.
Okay.
Vortex is listed here. It is region North America.
Okay,
We just haven't heard
it's
of it.
fair game. So what do we want, guys? SimCity 2000 or Vortex?
We're going to vote.
I vote,
Put it to a
I
vote?
vote Vortex.
I vote
Just
Vortex
'cause
as
I
well.
haven't heard about it.
The Vortexes have it.
We should I feel like maybe we should have done secret
Vote by
ballot or
secret
something.
ballot.
Well, just because I feel like Ian didn't get the vote. What would you have voted for?
Vortex.
Hey!
I was gonna do it anyway.
It's unanimous.
I do want to play SimCity because I haven't played SimCity in a long time, but that one's gonna take, I think, some time.
Here's what's going to happen with SimCity 2000 is I'm going to start playing on the Super Nintendo and be very frustrated that I'm not playing it on
PC.
a PC.
Yeah, I understand that.
And probably get frustrated playing Vortex too, but hey.
Yeah.
Well, I've marked it as a favorite in my system, and I will be playing it for next week.
I'm curious. I'm curious how it runs with the super
yeah.
effects.
It's hard to emulate.
Because sometimes, I mean, it used to be. I don't know how it is
Me
now.
emulating
so.
Stereo FXX was a shit show.
Yes.
so-
Yeah, and it may turn out to be a complete shit show, and I may have to just watch videos of it or something.
Yeah,
but
I have. Well, I don't have a copy of Vortex to loan you, but I do have a spare Super Nintendo. It doesn't help at all.
If it comes to that, it's fine.
Okay,
We'll make it work.
all right.
Vortex. Smiley.
So I know we're hitting standard time and it's pretty late. So
It
you
is
guys
late.
want
Yeah,
to
let's wrap
wrap it up there? All right.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it
I'll
up.
take it.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, not SoundCloud, all over the place. Just Google us. Put us in the goddamn Google machine.
Yeah.
God damn,
Apple
Google
Podcasts. Is that what it's called? Ian knows.
Apple Podcasts.
We need to
yes.
start saying Apple Podcasts instead of iTunes because
Oh.
iTunes doesn't exist anymore, and I always forget that too. But when I hear iTunes, I'm like, oh fuck, we sound like we are totally out of this podcast game.
I am too old to change now.
It's gonna be rough, right?
We'll try to
just
help.
like taking SoundCloud. You're gonna have to say not iTunes.
Look
How
on your
about
iPod for us.
that? Right.
Hit your iPod shuffle. We'll show up.
How many of our older viewers or listeners, rather, are we going to lose? What do you mean it's not
Not
on
on
iTunes?
iTunes.
How many people
That
you were
is
just
true.
surprised? Oh, it's Apple Podcast now? So,
I don't know.
I'm surprised. I didn't know that.
I really honestly don't know how many people listen to us on Apple Podcasts. I feel like iTunes used to be like huge. It was like the way to get
your
podcasts, right?
I
And
think it's still
is
the
it
way.
big still? Okay.
I mean,
Then
like
Apple's
for
like,
me,
no, we're going to make exclusive chargers. Fuck this whole podcast thing for money. We want
Yeah,
exclusive chargers.
right. Yeah, what are we gonna do with this pod? Stuff doesn't make fucking money. What are we doing?
I think
Chargers.
Except Europe, they passed that law. Fuck them.
the
What,
whole
Europe
thing.
passed a podcast law?
No, they passed a charter
charter
Oh, the
law.
charger law. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
and a podcast law.
Yeah, I was like, man, I got to hear about this podcast law.
The law states that you are not allowed to listen to podcasts while riding a donkey,
Is there a
Hee-haw,
podcast?
hee-haw.
while a sloth watches you fuck your imaginary sister. Otherwise, you're fine.
It all comes back around. I love that.
I think this is just Apple's way of separating all of their media,
Music
so
from
there's
the
music,
podcast,
there's
right.
podcasts, there's whatever.
Meanwhile, Spotify's like, fuck it.
Let's dump it all in.
Yeah.
Keep dumping.
Yeah.
Stir
hey,
it up.
I'm
Why
good.
not?
I'm
Why-
good with that. Fuck. It worked for iTunes for how many years? You know? I don't know.
Put us on your playlist, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Glad to have you listening.
So not to fuck with the flow,
Uh-huh.
but it's just that where it was like, man, every time I hear iTunes, I'm like, man, the fucking
You're right. I
kids,
didn't
the
know.
kids are gonna make fun of us.
Miles will make fun of us.
Yeah. Nah, he won't.
So we got a lot of shit going on, but most importantly, it's that Patreon.
Miles would look at me with sympathy.
Oh, he
Hi,
thinks it's
Dad.
iTunes.
He wouldn't laugh, nor would he be embarrassed. He would just be like, oh, well, I'm so sorry.
Back when I was young, we had iTunes. We listened to everything on iMac, iTunes. Okay,
Terrestrial
Grandpa.
radio.
Let me just look at my iWatch and check the news here.
Fuck, man, I say I watch, and
That actually makes you sound old.
I know, and every time I say it, I'm like, I'll say it, and I'll be like, fuck, god damn it, it's an Apple Watch. Fuck, that's what inside of me is, and the outside, I'm just like, did they catch that? And like, yeah, they definitely got that.
I'm waiting
Move
for
your
them.
thumb on that circle and choose a song. Come on.
Yeah, click that. I always say click that,
that.
and it's not click. You're tapping. it.
I
Yeah.
still do the click.
Fuck,
thing.
man.
Yeah, I do. I work in tech support, and I still use click. Click, click, clickety, click.
Did you tape that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My dad says that, or he'll like, because he
Hang up
knows
the phone. You mean press end?
he knows that I do the podcast. He's like, "Are you taping tonight?"
All right.
You're doing your blog? That's what I hear the most of all.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty hip. From you hear that from the folks?
From former boss.
Oh, okay.
Doing your blog
All
tonight?
right. Doing your blog tonight. That's cool. Technically, it is.
I guess.
We use WordPress.
No, it's a vlog. Okay. Somebody recently just mentioned Patreon. I believe, Tyler, that was you. And yes, we do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/TADPOG, if you couldn't figure that out. People give us money every month to do this, and we love it. We're taking that money and running with it.
Running away. So thanks for the money. And we do have a list of people that we like to refer to as our executive producers. These fine folks donate $20 or more per month to our little podcast so we can keep doing our thing. And I'm going to read you that list right now, starting with Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Usurper Grimm, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn, Landon, Dahl, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Archmage, Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first-time caller, and last but not least, Drinksmith, Joey Webster. Thank you guys so much. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you to all of our donors. And
Yes.
we're just going to keep doing this, whether
I
you like
guess.
it or not.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
Fucking 10 more, I guess.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm good. I'm good with that.
I'll be pushing 60. I definitely want to still be doing this podcast. No, I mean it. I'm not being sarcastic. I want to still be doing this show when I'm pushing 60.
Help
'Cause-
Ian. Let's set up Ian's retirement before he's 65. He can retire on this sweet podcast money.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm all for that. Let's do that.
I mean, Clint McElroy retired because of the podcast, because of the Adventure Zone.
Yeah,
so
we're about as successful as them.
we're almost there.
Every step.
They had
baby steps.
250 million on their first episode, but you know, whatever.
We have. We got
80.
some. We got some. That's good.
So our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and that track from the TADPOG.com. How you guys gonna close it out?
If your friends don't know about TADPOG, just tell them about it. They're missing out.
They might hate it.
Give it a shot.
Probably might. Probably will. It's fine.
it's fine.
These guys talk about having. This one guy keeps mentioning having sex with this other co-host, but I mean, other than that, well, it's pretty progressive.
Shit.
It's progressive.
Shit.
Yes,
I
it's
like
progressive.
I liked it so much I became a host.
Yeah.
It's that good, people.
That only works once, by
Right,
the way.
yes.
To anybody listening, that
Please
only works one time.
Stop asking me if you could be a host and you know who you
Just
are.
works once.
You know who you are. The
Ian
answer
took
is
that spot.
the answer is no. For fuck's sake. I don't know. How do you guys want to close it? I don't know. I never can come up
A
with
Sinistar.
Sinistar's pretty good.
it. Okay.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn, coward.
Boing, boing, boing.
Didn't Jesus hang out with the Kevin Spaceys of Jerusalem?